A Nintendo Direct happened this week, but guys and gals, that doesn't matter, because it's Final Fantasy time. Let's talk about it. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 56 for the third week of June 2023. I'm your host, Mike Z, and joining me once again, as always, every time, all the time, my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B.
What is up, everybody?
Ooh, that was a nice, clean open.
Yeah. As you see, I'm trying the new Mountain Dew Energy Baja Blast because Baja Blast is finally now being sold at stores. Let me turn my noise suppression back on because I don't know if it's going to do anything. I just want to turn off so I can do that crack real quick. As you can probably tell, Mike's a little bit closer to my mouth, so hopefully I'll sound a little bit more full and not so distant. And, so I'm really excited about this. I got a little arm and everything. I need to send a picture to you, Mike, because it's a little jank. Because I didn't really think about the fact that I have no edge to put this mic stand on.
Mine
So
was jank for the longest time until I figured out the setup I have now.
I have a little drawer in front of me right now, and literally I can't close it because I have to put it right there.
That's
so
awesome.
I basically can't close this drawer.
I love that for you.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to finally have this. This makes my life a lot easier, and again, will hopefully sound a lot better in my opinion. I also just really like this mic arm. It's really easy to use. You know, pretty easy, not too bad. It did come in very shitty box, surprisingly, for being a Rode mic stand. Like, it literally seemed like the UPS guy just threw it down the stairs and then kicked it over to my door. It was beat to shit. I was like, God damn, this is a brand new mic arm, and it looked like luckily it wasn't broken, nothing was wrong with it. So whatever. But yeah, I guess real quick I'll go to you, and then if you want to shoot it back to me. But how was your week? I mean, I know it's so far from what I could tell, not great, but you know.
Yeah, so I just want to let people know, sorry that this episode's going to be a couple days late. We had the apocalypse storm down here in Memphis. No, I'm telling you, man, I drove into work Monday after the storm hit, and I counted it. It was like I think I remember counting 7 or 8 power lines that were just sideways, just completely snapped off and broke. And I was like, damn, man.
Jesus.
But yeah, so we weren't without power at all down here. My house stayed lit on the grid, as the kids would say. But
lit on the grid.
Dude,
Wow.
I went to work and someone asked me if I was still lit. And I was like, I don't know what that means. They're like, on the grid, are you still lit? I'm like, do I have power? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yes, I have power, you weirdo. Lit on the grid. So I guess that's a saying kids say these days. I don't know why. But yeah, so the internet's been down for a couple days. Well, about a day and a half the internet was out. So, and there's still a bunch of people without power down here. So I guess count my blessings, you know. I'm one of the lucky ones. But yeah, that was a heck of a storm. We sat down to record Sunday night, and then I saw a flash of light, and I looked out the window, and I said, hey, Logan, I don't think we're going to be doing that. And about a minute later, boom, cut off. It was over. So,
that couldn't have been any more perfect timing, too.
But yeah, so, you know, yesterday at work was a hectic day. Sold out of generators, and we got two truckloads of generators, sold out of all of them. People were just buying them like crazy. But other than that,
I feel that, man. Back when I used to work at Home Depot, that's how it was. Literally, like, as soon as even like a snowstorm hit or anything, everyone came to the store immediately, and they all bought like a ton of generators, heaters, and etc.
Yeah,
so
it was pretty crazy, but it is what it is. I work in retail, so I'm used to it. Made the day go by quick, even though it was a 12-hour day. It was long. I was tired when I got home, so
Jesus.
yeah. They called me in early. I was supposed to work 10 to 6. They called me in at 8, and I didn't leave till 8, so I clocked out like 7:45. I was like, huh, that was a long one. But anyway, so we're here. We're sitting down now finally. So I just want to say sorry guys that we are late on this week. We usually try to hit Monday every single week at 8 a.m. But I can't control Mother Nature. I tried. I tried sitting here at my window and warding off the storm, but it just didn't work. What's crazy is the storm only lasted like 20 minutes. It was done. By the way, the winds was 78 miles an hour.
Right now?
No, not right now. When the
Oh,
storm
oh,
hit.
back then. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Right now, it's dead quiet outside. Ain't
I was
nothing
like,
going
please
on.
no.
No, no. When the storm hit, and it was only like 20 minutes, it was like, boom, done, gone, and it just destroyed half the city. I was
Jesus.
like, oh, that was awesome. But anyway, man, yeah. So anything else you did this week? I did a couple gaming things. I was pretty bored the past couple days because I couldn't watch TV or anything. So
That's fair.
downside of having everything streaming. Yeah, I think it was Sunday night after we ended up stopped recording. Peyton and I were like, "Well, you want to like go up in the attic and get the Blu-rays? Because all my Blu-rays were in a box up in the attic." And I was like, "Because I can still watch those. I have power." But we
Yeah.
we just ended up just sitting there, kind of just chit chatting, talking. And she fell asleep, so I played it. I played a little bit and then fell asleep myself. So anything else, man?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a pretty okay week last week. It was decently busy, really, really hot. Damn, these last few days have been really, really hot. As you can tell, I probably changed like a little bit. Like I feel like I'm starting to get slightly a little bit of tan, but like not too bad. But every day I get home now, I'm like basically sweating. Like I drink like two huge things of that water bottle I usually show up with, like every day. It's insane how much I sweat at work because it feels like an oven. But other than that, last weekend I decided to go to the Grove in St. Louis for the Grove Fest, which is I guess like a celebration for, I don't really know the name of what is LGBTQTIA I don't know. It's a very long name. But you know what I mean. For
Pride.
everyone, trans, bi, gay,
Just say Pride.
sorry, homosexual, not gay. I don't know if that's the right way of saying thing, but
It was
it's
a
Pride.
Pride
It's basically,
celebration.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a Pride celebration basically. And it was fun. It was cool. I went with a bunch of my friends. We got there at like 5, but I had to leave a little bit and I came back and it was popping by the time I came back. It was so many people. The entire street was closed off and it was just really fun. Um, but yeah, it was just a good time. Got hit on by guys, whatever. But it was a good time. It was fun. It was a great time. But yeah, other than that, I'll be getting into some pretty exciting new things I got in the rundown. Which one of them sort of delayed our episode on Friday. Maybe it was a good thing because we ended up probably not being able to record it anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty chill week. I'm really tired today a little bit. That's why I popped an energy drink because, again, today's been a long day, I feel like. So,
Yeah, man, that used to happen to me all the time. Not getting hot. I always get hot, but like, I used to have a gay roommate at my first school, my sophomore year in college, and we used to go out to a couple of the bars all the time. And I would wingman for him, then he would wingman for me when we were at the straight bars.
hmm
And I got hit on all the time, and then I guess like I don't know. I kind of find that a little flattering. I'm like, oh, thanks,
Yeah, it
man. I'm
is.
like,
Yeah.
thanks. I don't swing that way, but I appreciate it. Good luck to
hmm
you, man. But thanks for making me feel good about myself. Uh, anyway, I'm pretty nonchalant about things. I don't care. So, uh, Peyton has to point out to me when people hit on me all the time because sometimes I just don't even recognize it.
Oh,
So,
Amy does the same thing to me too, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I didn't recognize it. I don't really pay attention, so I don't know.
all right. Well, no, that's out of the way. You want to get into it?
Yep,
All right.
I'm ready.
Well, each episode every week that we do, we start with the question of the week. And guys, we always want to let you know down below, please comment your questions that you have for us. Any topics you want, we'll include as many as we can, or all of them if we can. That'd be awesome. I'm not adverse to completely changing the format of the show, including more of your guys' questions and comments and everything, and talk about some of the stuff that you want to talk about. So if you watch this, if you listen to us, if you like us, if you want
Hey,
to, if you want
you
to,
want to?
if you want to know something about me or Logan, about our gaming stuff, we can talk about little personal stuff. So I guess if you want to know something about me personally, go ahead and ask. I'm pretty much an open book. But comment down below, let us know, and we will include it in the show wherever we can, as many as we can. But this week, it's just a normal question. So, Mr. Birdman, the question of the week this week is, at what point does the ambition of a game outweigh the necessity of a high performance mark? And pretty much what I'm getting at here is Starfield. There's a lot of people not happy that the big 3-0 flashed up on the screen. And
Yeah.
I've talked to quite a few people on Reddit. I don't know why I love Reddit so much, dude. I go there all the time. I go there like multiple times a day. I don't know why. And I just keep telling them, like, it's not that big a deal, guys. It's really not. If this game is as ambitious as they're talking about it, or, as they make it seem, then I think that ambition easily outweighs the 60 FPS. If it's like something that's massive that we've on the scale that we've never seen before, then I'm much more likely to just be like, yeah, okay, it's fine. You couldn't get to run at a solid 60, so that's fine. But what I do, in comparison to another Bethesda game, the ambition of Redfall did not necessitate the 30 frames per second mark. So that's where the trouble is. But I feel like exclusively, at least, the ambition of Starfield. I guess I haven't played it yet, so we don't know. But if it is that ambitious, then I feel like it does kind of justify that 30 frames per second, and I'm much more willing to let that pass. Granted, I'm playing on a PC, so we'll see what my frames are. I have no clue yet. But I don't know. I just want to know, I guess in general, like, what does the game have to do nowadays to, I guess, justify a 30 frames a second?
I think for Starfield, it's a very iffy thing, because I can understand why people are upset about it. And I can agree somewhat on why to be upset, but also can agree that maybe, I've landed in the middle with this, because, like, I could see again why it's 30 FPS, but then I also could see why people are complaining about it, because in my opinion, the one thing that this generation started off with, and if it didn't start off this way, maybe we would have had a different outlook. But every game for this entire generation so far has had performance modes. It's 60 FPS has been like the new standard, pretty much. It always had 30 FPS quality modes. People are fine with that. And I think the biggest problem with Starfield, in my opinion, is the lack of choice, where people have started to come to know by most games nowadays having choice. And not getting a choice frustrates people. And so I can kind of get why people are that way. But I mean, that is how consoles are. But lately, ever since the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, ever since then, there has been this new standard of having multiple modes in games. Some games don't, but they also hit 60 FPS, so that's why they don't give you a choice, because you don't need it. Geez, I have some in my throat. But if this game has a solid 30 FPS, like it is solid beyond solid, I could see it not being a big deal. And also if it feels smooth at 30 FPS. Like, for example, I played Tears of the Kingdom, but you also don't get much of a choice with that game. Wait, dude, something's in my throat.
You gargle a little bit, yeah. Gargle with that Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Yeah, get it down that.
I don't, all right, calm down now. But if it has a smooth 30 and it feels good, kind of like how Tears of the Kingdom for me feels like whatever, then I think it won't be that big of a deal. Maybe they can make the aim a little bit more snappier to kind of compensate the fact that you are losing, reaction time. I think if they can do something like that, maybe that'll make people feel a little bit better. Because I will say also, this game's gonna be a little bit more difficult than like old Fallout games, where 30 FPS was a little bit more fine because they had VATs, whereas this game won't have VATs, from what I could tell, and you're fighting in real time. And the difference between Skyrim too is Skyrim you're not really shooting, like, yes, you have a bow and you have to aim, but most of the time you're using a sword or you're using spells with AoE attacks. So that's fine again. There's where the compensation becomes. But like with Starfield again, you're using guns where you need to be precise, other than shotgun. But I would expect you not to use shotguns the entire time. And it's going to be a little difficult at 30 FPS, especially with the gameplay they're showing with how smooth the combat is and everything. Again, I can get why people are a little upset with that. But I guess we'll see when it comes out. I'm less upset about it as long as it's 30 FPS and it's smooth 30 FPS, like solid. Like it does not move away from that 30 FPS mark. Now, down the line, if they want to be cool, maybe they'll add a performance mode. That would be awesome. But heck, if that 30 FPS is the way for them to release this game within this year, whatever. That's cool. Not saying that should be the standard where they come out with 30 FPS and later on add performance. Redfall.
Is that even out yet?
But yeah, probably not.
All right,
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with Redfall. But I just think maybe down the line they could probably add that. But if it's 4K solid 30, I think that's fine. And I could see where you hit a point where it is too ambitious. Like, for example, some people even complain about Tears of the Kingdom for some reason being 30. They, for some reason, had the mindset that it was going to be 60 for some reason, which I thought was absolutely insane.
The first one
Because,
wasn't
like,
even 60,
you
was it?
played Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
which already was a port from Wii U, and that was 30 FPS. So what were you expecting them to be more ambitious with the next game and somehow hit 60 FPS? It doesn't work like that. So I think there is a certain point where it is a little too ambitious, to where I don't think it needs to be high performance. But I do think if you're making a specific type of game, like a first-person shooter, like Redfall, for example, I think you should be aiming like for a goal, which they were aiming for a goal. All of their marketing showed 60 FPS, and it was like console stuff. So that's why people had this mindset that it was going to be 60 FPS at launch. Clearly, it wasn't. I mean, that wasn't its biggest problem, but it is a problem. And so I think it's majorly just like it's up to the developer. If they are doing something as insane as Starfield or Tears of the Kingdom, or I don't really know what else right now, maybe Star Citizen, etc., etc., I can understand why those are very ambitious games, and I don't expect like 60 FPS or 120 FPS. Now, do I want Starfield down the line to get give us a choice with a performance mode? Yes. I think that would be a cool update down the line, and who knows, they may do that down the line. But again, I'm fine with it being 4K 30 or 1440p 30, which by the way is very impressive on Series S. And that way it gets out this year. And I don't think people are going to be complaining whenever they actually play it. So I'm going to be playing on PC, so I guess it really doesn't bother me because I'm not going to be playing it on my Xbox anyways. I plan on playing it on PC the entire way. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll
What
be
do you think?
interested. Oh, I was just saying, I'll be interested to see the Digital Foundry stuff come out because they say targeted 1440p at Series S, and I don't believe it'll ever reach that. Maybe once. Like, I don't believe it'll
Yeah.
ever get any close. Because, like, I mean, PS5 games say targeting 4K, and they usually shit. They usually sit somewhere in like the 1800 range. Like, that's what Horizon sits at. Like, it just. They say, hey, we're trying to get to 4K. That's what we're doing.
I mean, as long as
doesn't
it
mean we get there.
looks good on a TV, I don't give a shit what resolution
Yeah.
it is.
I
I
care
just want it to
so
look nice
little.
and clear.
I care
I mean,
so
I
little
played-
about resolution anymore, unless it's
I
like
even played.
astronomical.
on.
Sorry, I'm like, if it's like 720p on like a 60-inch screen, then obviously I don't want that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if it's 1080p at like 60 frames, whatever, fine, fuck it, you know? I don't know.
I mean, most of the time nowadays with the new like resolution, like FSR and stuff like that, I feel like they're doing a really good job nowadays of having lower resolutions and bringing it up to higher. To a certain point, obviously, you have Jedi Survivor where they had in their performance mode, which was all the way down to 720p, which I'm sure didn't look very good on a 4K TV. Trying to basically what I'm gonna guess they were using was like performance FSR, which by the way, I feel like the lowest you should ever go with FSR is balanced.
Yeah.
That's like the max. I wouldn't go any lower than that because if you go to performance, it starts to look awful. And from what I watched on Jedi Survivor, just from what I watched, not great in performance mode. Even in its normal mode, it wasn't like super high, but the performance looked awful. It looked like a smeared painting. It just did not look great. So I mean, again, I'm fine with that. I never expect games to run at exactly 4K on these consoles. I'm fine with 1800 or even 1440p. 1440p looks stupid good still, in my opinion. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
hey, I played Jedi Survivor in performance mode the entire time. I thought it looked perfect. I thought it actually looked fantastic.
That's fine.
There was some artifacting and some screen tearing going on, but yeah, there's sometimes I see like the Vaseline effect, as they would call the the FSR and the DLSS. They call it the Vaseline effect. I didn't recognize in that one. I did recognize it in Cyberpunk every once in a while though.
Hmm.
The Vaseline effect in Cyberpunk was hardcore. It was up there.
Yes.
But again, like it just, I guess it matters. It does, but it just doesn't matter that much to me. As I keep getting older and older, I'm like, is it smooth? Does it feel good? And is it fun?
Hmm.
Like that's what matters to me, and it does it tell a good story. That's what matters most of all. But that has nothing to do with the hardware behind it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think it matters too much. But like I said, it's a scale. Like I don't think in Starfield it's really that big of a deal. But like in Redfall, that was a huge deal because there in no way did that game justify the necessity for 30 frames, or something like Gotham Knights. Like no way did
Hmm.
that justify visually, or like what the actual game is doing behind this, like behind the scenes and all that 30 frames per second mark. Like Starfield, with all the CPU bound like tasks that it has to do, like people were making fun of the sandwiches, and like, yeah, that's kind of a funny little joke, but do you realize the game has to remember each and every sandwich, where you put it every
Hmm.
single time you load into something? That's all CPU bound. That's all background tasks that the game has to remember. Every single little thing that you pick up and that you do or you move, the game's gonna remember that. And it's like, look, even something like God of War, when you break something, it just disappears. It doesn't stay
Hmm.
there. The game doesn't have to remember it. It moves on, which is that it's their choice. And I don't really think there's a good or a bad. It's just the nature of what the game is. Now,
And
if
I mean, also like sorry, I almost said Star Citizen. Um, what the fuck? My brain just went away from that.
I don't know what you're trying to say,
Why can
so
I say it right now? Starfield.
oh,
That's what I was trying to say. My
Jesus,
brain just it got stuck on Star Citizen.
excuse me.
But you also got to remember all these planets are supposedly supposed to be actual planet sized. Like they have 1,000 planets, and yes, some of them have confirmed are barren wastelands, but some of them do have stuff going on. And for every player, supposedly the planets are auto like generated in a sense. So if you go to one planet and I go to that planet, it might be a different experience for the both of us. And also, they do have key placed items and stuff, but there's also just a lot going on. Which, I mean, it makes sense because how the hell do you design 1,000 planets by handcrafting it? It ain't gonna happen. There are elements that are handcrafted, which makes sense, but I'm sure there's gonna be obviously there's like the creatures and etc. That's fine. But yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. I mean, you got to remember also you could build outposts on some of these planets, and then you can also make multiple outposts, and you can have trading between those outposts and everything. There's so much shit going on in this game, and if they could pull it off, which I do actually have pretty high hopes they will pull it off in many ways, especially now that they have all this support. I think this might be the probably one of the best optimized Bethesda games. That I'm gonna say it right now. I think this is gonna probably be one of the best optimized Bethesda games they've ever made because they have all the backing.
Well, it's not the highest watermark to reach, but I guess it's something.
Yeah, and it isn't, but I do think they are going to there's still going to probably be some bugs, but I do think they are going to mostly nail it. I mean, they have a ton of people work on it. I mean, heck, they even had ID, which is the people that made Doom, help them with the combat and the motion blur and stuff like that, which is super cool because I could definitely tell, man, that gameplay, that combat looked far more smooth than any other Bethesda game I've ever seen. So, yeah, I'm fine with 30 FPS. At the beginning, I'm a little annoyed, and again, I kind of hope down the line they'll give us an update on that. But for now, I'm fine with them at least knowing that it's gonna be a solid frame rate of 30, which I think is totally fine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess to answer the question, for me, it's the game needs to justify why, and if it doesn't, then it's a
Mm-hmm.
problem. So
Yeah.
pretty much it's a wait and see. Like if the game comes out and it's not justified, then we can bitch and complain. But bitching and complain before you've ever played a single second of a game is not something that I ever want myself to do or this podcast to take practice in, I guess. So we may talk shit on how bad a game looks, but we're not going to give you objective opinions because we don't have any. We've never played it. So that's just my stance on it. But all right. That was the end of that debate. For us, at least.
If it was a debate, yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is, in fact, the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every Monday at 8 a.m. You know, apocalyptic storms notwithstanding. So you can listen to it whenever you want or whenever you desire. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the XP Podcast, please go over to our Patreon and give us some support where you get to be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital PERIENCEPOINT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry. We still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. We can get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. Last week's episode for you, episode 55, it's up. We talked about Ubisoft and Capcom showcases. We gave them both reviews. Pretty surprised by Ubisoft, both of us. We both very much enjoyed it. Not so much for Capcom's, but we also talked about Respawn was in fact making a new Titanfall game. Blizzard continues down their adventures of what I'm going to coin the douchery. People Can Fly. The developers behind Gears of War Judgment and Outriders also signed a new deal with Xbox, but we talked about so much more. So go check that out. Come on back to this episode and see what we have to get into this week. Speaking of this week, let's get into the show. In our point of the show, we are giving you our review and discussion for the Nintendo Direct that happened this week. Yes, there was another showcase. Came out of nowhere. We saw it. We watched it. We have stuff to say about it. Then in Around the Point, the little engine that could reaches the top of the Steam charts this week, and I have to say, I'm intrigued by this game. E3 continues to have problems and is looking more and more like a non-exister. Xbox Series X and S, Xbox Series X and Game Pass is about to get much more expensive, and we have so much more to talk about. Then in LTR, we dive into the reviews for this week's games, but before we get to all that, it's time for what is, and forever will be, the rundown. We catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether it be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. Doesn't matter to us because we like it all and love to talk about it. Mr. Birdman, what, sir, have you been doing?
Well, so Friday, I got a kind of a surprise come in pretty early for me, and that is there's no way for me to show you, but if you want to look it up, it's the Samsung OLED G8 34-inch monitor. Go look it up. Quite expensive, but I actually was pretty lucky and I got it for a good price. Very good price, actually. Stupid good price. But yeah, I on Friday, I right before we started, I just randomly got a knock at the door, and it was
Sunday.
the new monitor. Was it Sunday? Oh yeah, it was Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday. So yeah, I got it, and I've been messing around with it, and I gotta say, man, it's fucking awesome. I was really worried about it coming in because I got a lot of reviews where people got in monitors with like dead pixels or other little problems. I haven't witnessed any of those problems, so I gotta say it's been pretty flawless. But dude, having this big OLED monitor is fucking beautiful. My God, I played a few games. Like I played, well, weirdly enough, Elden Ring doesn't support ultra wide, which kind of sucks. Anyways, it has the resolution for it, which is really dumb. But I did try a couple games that did support ultra wide, like Red Dead Redemption 2, which looks awesome on this monitor. Like holy shit. I also tried Call of Duty. Tried that out. It looks super good on here. It's very nice to have a very ultra wide perspective. There was another game. Oh, I also tried out Cyberpunk 2077. kind of preparing myself for the new update, so I'm going to try that out. On the ultra wide, looks so good again. Um, Man, dude, I all I gotta say though for Cyberpunk though is messing around with settings. I don't know why, but I feel like 2077 isn't a very well optimized game in my opinion. Um, you basically, if I even turn on one ray tracing option, it just fucking dwindles my frame rate to like 60. And I know it's not like a big deal, but it's like ugh, like I don't know if it's really worth it. But the other game I tried out is a game that I really enjoyed on here. That's a PC only game called Ready or Not. I talked about it in the past. It's like a SWAT game, or it's more like a spiritual successor of SWAT 4, which is an old game. Dude, again, looks amazing. It's awesome. This monitor goes up to 175 hertz, which is more than my previous one. And yeah, it looks great. I've tested it out. It looks phenomenal. Just OLED in general. I've never had an OLED like big screen before, so this is amazing. Especially for me when I like to edit stuff to actually see like true colors with true black and all that. Oh, so good, so good. But that's one little thing I've been doing the past few days. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, I've always wanted an ultra wide, but I never I never hopped onto it. It has really nothing to do with money. It has to do with convenience factor, and I
Mhm.
want my desk setup to be like my all encompassing like entertainment setup. Like I want my consoles on here, I want my PC on here, and consoles don't
Mhm.
support ultra wide. And like you were
No.
talking about, like the ultra wide support isn't ubiquitous yet across all games, and it's just
Mhm.
I don't know. That's annoying to me. I'm like so. I'm just planning on getting the 32-inch 4K OLED monitor eventually, slapping that
Yeah.
bitch on here and letting it ride. So, but yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Yeah, and the price that you told me was ridiculous.
Mhm.
That's that's the stupidest price I've ever heard for that. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what was we gonna do? Oh yeah, the Flash. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've
So
seen a little movie called The Flash.
yeah, dude,
Um,
you talk about your brain melting. My brain's been melting from multiple days. But yeah, so we both saw The Flash. We're gonna give you guys a little mini review here, talk about it for a while, however long we want to talk about it for. But I guess, what'd you think of it?
Better than what I expected, I'll tell you that.
Same, yeah.
I
Well,
also didn't have as hardcore of a nostalgic factor that a lot of people have. I've never seen that Batman before. Never
no,
seen a single one of his movies, so it didn't hit
how?
me as much as everyone else.
Oh, dude,
Um,
it.
so I sort of know a little bit about him, but I don't. I've never actually like seen a full movie of his.
It's okay.
So
I had explained the significance in the theater to Peyton while we were watching it. Like
yeah.
she was enjoying it. I was like, do you realize who that is? And she was like, yeah, it's Batman. I was like, no, it's the Batman. It's like the OG Batman. And she had no clue. So, but yeah, I mean, I left the theater and her and I actually talked about it for quite a bit. I had a lot of thoughts on this movie after I seen it because we saw its box office performance, which it's one of the worst performing superhero movies in recent memory. It's awful.
Which isn't super surprising.
Yes,
So,
through 2 weeks, it's not even at 100 million yet, so an absolute epic fail. And I'm just questioning why, because DC has been so much worse than this. I mean, I guess there's the
you
whole.
mean Marvel? You
Well,
just said
no, I
DC.
said DC's been way worse than this.
Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah.
DC's made way worse,
I
more
think
successful
it's
movies.
I think it's mainly because of the person that is playing the role
Okay, see,
that people are.
yeah, I mean,
But some people can't separate the artist from the thing. Like, I know he isn't the one that created this movie, but he is the main actor.
I
If he
get
was a
that.
side actor, I think people could have probably been a little bit more cool with it. But I think since he's the main actor, I can get why people are. I didn't go into the movie thinking that way. I knew about all the stuff that he's done. We're not going to talk about it. That's not the kind of channel we are. If you want to go look it up, go look it up. But yeah, I could see why some people may be that. I mean, there's people that didn't play Hogwarts. There's a bunch of other stuff. But
I don't think Hogwarts suffered too much from the talk out there. It's one of the most successful
yeah,
games of the year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
Um, but still, it's kind of like similar, other than one's did very well, and this one not so much. Uh, But yeah, I could see why some people probably didn't want to go see it. I also think the trailer didn't do a really good job of like kind of really showing what they were gonna do with this movie. Like I wasn't very impressed. Again, I went in this movie with very low expectations, so that's probably why I enjoyed it more, which it helped me a little bit more because like I wasn't like super pumped for this movie. I also, again, as I said, I didn't have the nostalgic factor that everyone else had. I literally went in this movie not knowing much about the Batman that shows up in this. Um, so I just kind of was like, oh, cool. Like I understand people's hype for it, and I especially understand the reference at the very end, which I do understand. Someone explained it to me, so I thought that was really cool too. But yeah. So
See, I guess
what do you?
I went in with mid expectations.
Mhm.
I thought the trailers looked good. I didn't think they looked amazing. I thought they did a good job of selling it. But then again, I sometimes struggle with separating my own like knowledge about this stuff from like, other people's. Like I know what Flashpoint is. I've read the Flashpoint Paradox. I've
Mhm.
seen the animated movie based off of it. So like I knew there's certain things that were going to be in here. And I think the movie did a good job of actually surprising someone who knew this story fairly well. They actually changed a couple things that I don't think are necessarily, preposterous to change, and they linked some things that I thought were really well done. Uh, but yeah, I went in with mid expectations, and I came out like feeling kind of bad for the people who made the movie. Not
Oh yeah,
feeling
I do too. Yeah.
not feeling bad for Ezra Miller because I'll never feel bad for that man. But I felt bad for everyone else involved because it's like you guys did not make a bad movie in my opinion. But it's
But I do think they knew this was gonna fail for one reason, and I do have a good thing with that. And do you want me to say it real quick?
yeah, sure, we'll rock it out real quick.
CGI is fucking garbage in this movie.
Okay, well,
Holy shit. This is literally Matrix Reloaded CGI.
okay, I didn't think that's
I
what you were
haven't
gonna
seen
say.
this bad
We
of
weren't
CGI.
getting into our critical reaction yet.
I'm sorry, but
I thought you were gonna say
I just
something
wanted to say
else.
that real quick. I do think they knew this was gonna fail because they definitely didn't put enough money into CGI. They definitely did not. They're like, fuck, like this movie probably isn't gonna do good. So let's just ship it out with the most basic CGI that like a college student just learning CGI could have made. Like that's how rough it is, in my opinion. I've seen Corridor Digital, a YouTube channel, do better CGI than literally this movie. So yeah,
All right.
it's rough,
Well, I guess
just to say the least.
since Logan skipped 30 minutes of a
Sorry,
conversation,
I
we're gonna
just
go
wanted to
into a
get that
critical
out there.
reaction.
I just want it connects with the point that
Yeah.
I do think they knew this was gonna fail. So
I don't know. I don't know if I prescribe to that. Like, people always try. I don't think they're like, oh, this movie's gonna fail, so we'll just phone it in. Like, I don't think the director and all that's gonna do that. I don't think,
yeah,
I think the movie, is failing, like you said, for the person who stars in it. But I guess there's a lot of people out there that ignore that stuff too. So I'm confused at how something like, Black Adam gets 130 million open weekend, and
yeah.
this gets what was it, 45 or somewhere? It might have been somewhere. It might have been somewhere in the 60s. I think it was in the 60s. Its opening weekend. And like, I love The
I just
Rock.
hope
I
I just
do.
hope that I just hope this doesn't happen to Aquaman because I really want that to be good. I
Yeah.
know, man, they just have not had luck with actors and actresses. Is all I
Yeah,
gotta say.
that's true.
But
But
I
anyway,
really hope. But Aquaman is different because that's a different role. Like that's not the main actor. So like maybe
yeah.
it won't have as rough of as a time.
I mean, I'm sure there's
So.
still going to be the people out there that say boycott it, yada yada. Anyway, we've been
Mhm.
talking for so long, haven't even put a score on it. What are you going to give the Flash on the new experience point scale?
C.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a B.
Okay.
I think this is above an average movie. I think I wasn't impressed by the movie, but I do think it kind of sucks. I mean, like we have to talk about him, but like I think Ezra Miller is actually good in the movie. I don't think he's
Yeah.
a
No, I
I
actually,
I don't
as
think he's
much
a
as I
good
don't
person,
like
but
the guy.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing for like I like Baby Driver. Has Steven Seagal in it, or not Steven Seagal? God damn it!
I was
What the
like,
hell
no,
is
it
that guy's
doesn't.
name? Not Steven Seagal.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin
I
Spacey. I
was
love that movie still, and I still think he does a great job in that movie.
you
I don't know why I
said
thought Steven
you
Seagal.
said Steven
He rolls in with the
Seagal,
chair.
and my brain was like, yo, what the fuck? It was like, cause Steven
Oh,
Seagal in that movie.
No, no. But I still like that movie, and I still think this movie, like, even though I'm giving it a C, that's not really bad. I feel like that's again a passing grade. It's an average
Yeah,
thing,
I
and I
didn't
think
say it
it
was
is
bad.
pretty average. There are some things I've been thinking about since I watched it that has kind of brought it down a little bit for me, and it's because there's one big question that was literally never answered in the movie that is kind of dumb that it was never answered. But I think altogether I really enjoyed it, especially. I really liked the
You good? Someone try to
I
break in?
really liked the ending because it was a lot more different than I expected because it's not the normal ending that I was like, "Oh, okay. All right. I like that." I haven't seen Flash Paradox, so I don't know anything about I know like sort of about it, but I've never seen any of that stuff. So again, I don't know about all that story and everything. So this is like sort of new to me. So it's like it was cool. I liked it. It was awesome. I still enjoyed the movie. Like actually, low key, I would probably go see it again. Maybe I don't know. Even though the CGI is god awful, and I mean god awful,
Yeah.
guys. Like I
I
haven't
guess
seen like it's not even like some movies people nitpick a little harder, and I don't really nitpick that hard usually on CGI. But within the first few minutes of this movie and the first scene, which I'm not going to talk about or say any details about, I immediately knew I'm like, oh, that is not good CGI. Like that's rough. Like that's 2000 CGI going on. And then they get farther in the movie and it just seems to never really get better. So
I think it gets better
it's a little rough.
once they bring flying in.
Oh, Batman scenes were awesome. I think
Well,
they did a really good job
Batman
with this.
scenes.
Yeah.
The other, well, I guess she's in the movie. She's in the trailer. Never
Yeah,
mind.
she's in the trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah. She's
Supergirl's flying.
Supergirl. Yeah, she does a really good
Yeah,
job.
I
Yeah.
think flying. DC does a really good job. I think their CGI is really locked down. But
Mhm.
the problem comes in is CGIing humans in realistic things. It's just not gonna look that good.
Yeah.
And then stack on top when you slow it down, the scene you're talking about, which I won't detail anything.
Yeah.
It's a 5 minute long slow mo scene with realistic things in there, and yeah, I know it's not a good start. Like I remember,
Also, the dome sections that I'm not gonna try to explain. You know what I mean by
yeah,
dome. Like he's dome. The people in those scenes in the background. Oh man,
yeah.
like maybe they could have like filmed an actual live action thing and put them in the background, just like copy and pasted them. But no, they decided to do CGI, and it looked really bad in my opinion. It just did not look good. Again, it looked like PS3 graphics. People. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of like the smooth face, like people. They're all like super smooth. There's almost like no texture to anyone's face. And it even happens in a close-up scene later in the movie with the second Flash, where they're both talking. There's a moment where literally I could tell, like, again, I usually don't nitpick CGI. It takes a lot for me to notice things. There's a lot of movies that I probably like that I probably don't notice bad CGI moments in. But this moment really got me when they were both talking, and I could tell they CGI'd his face, and it looked really bad. It was like the Superman mustache thing, where it just like again the dude's face, like the other Flash, the other Ezra Miller or other Flash, whatever his name is in the movie, his face was like super smooth in his suit, and it was like later on in the movie, and it was like really
His
smooth
name's
looking.
still Barry West.
I forgot his name, so it was
It's
very well. Yeah,
yeah, it's still
yeah,
Barry West. Yeah, but no. So
but
yeah, the movie is ugly. Like I'm not disputing that at all. That was my
yeah.
biggest takeaway, and I was like, well, that was a good movie, but it was an ugly good movie.
Hmm.
Um, Now I have quite a bit of good things. I think the writing's pretty well done, and I guess coming off of Black Adam, which is awful writing,
I
this
still haven't seen that movie.
it's not good. And again, this is a guy who loves The Rock, and I hate Black Adam. But the writing's good, the acting's really good, pretty much across the board. Um, I think Supergirl's actress. I looked it up afterwards. This is her first movie she's ever done. So hats off.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
bad. I mean, she definitely gets overshadowed a little bit by fucking Michael Keaton of all people. Of course, you're gonna get
Yeah.
overshadowed a little bit, but like, I don't think it's bad at all. Like, I remember watching it in the movie, and I was like, yeah, she's not as good as the other ones. And I looked it up, and I was like, well, I mean, Yeah. Also, how cool is it to get cast as Supergirl for your first movie
I
ever?
know, right?
Like that. How do you fall into that one? But yeah, I think Ezra Miller, despite the fact of who he is, thought he turned in a good performance on both aspects of the Barry West character that he was portraying. The storyline was well told with enough changes from the source material that it actually caught me off guard. Especially with Michael Keaton's Batman. He's very different from what he is in normal Flashpoint Paradox. So that one caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. And like you said, I think the ending not just looks cool. Oh, no, it doesn't look again. None of it looks good, but it's like it thematically plays really well, and it feels emotional when you're in that ending scene, when you're in that culmination of things. And I just think it's really cool to bring the entire DC verse back around to Man of Steel. That was the beginning of it.
Yeah,
Seeing Zod again. I don't know how they got Michael. Forgot his name. I almost said Strahan. It's definitely not him. That's a football player.
yeah, yeah.
But I forgot his name. I don't know how they got him to come back because he's not cheap. So that's cool that they got him to come back and play some different things. And again, I just think the ending of it was really emotionally impactful. And I think the
Hmm.
movie did a good enough job to make me feel those emotions at the end of it. So I don't know, man. I walked out and said I was thoroughly surprised with the Flash. Like I said, I'm pretty confident in my B rating, even though it is an ugly movie. I think that's really the only huge negative.
Oh, I even
It is
forgot about the
hideous.
soldiers too. Dude, the soldiers were.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's all ugly.
yeah.
I'm not disputing that, but
Especially that first scene where I'm not gonna really say much, but Zod kills like a soldier, and I was just like, that was so fake. That was like unbelievably bad CGI that moment. But
yeah. I mean, all
yeah,
of it
there's
is.
also one main key point that was not answered that also brings me down quite a bit that I didn't really think about, but now that I know about it, I'm like,
We'll have to
it's
talk
more
about that
about.
point afterwards because
I'm not
I'm
gonna
not.
like specify. I'm just gonna say the mother thing was never answered at all. Like, what happened? You just nothing. We get nothing from that. So that's where I'm like, ugh. Like, I feel like we could have gotten an answer, especially with him going in the past, but we didn't get that answer. So yeah, guess that's a spoiler. But you already knew it was about the mother. That was the whole point of the movie. So
I don't know. I mean, again, going off my knowledge, it's never talked about in the Flashpoint Paradox either. Like what actually happened. It sets up for late.
I thought they gave an answer to who did it.
No, it they give an answer later. It sets up a villain.
Oh, well, we'll never get an answer to this because,
Yeah, no,
do you
it's
really?
rough. But anyway,
Yeah.
so that's all I really want to talk about the Flash for. I'm sad for everyone that was involved outside of
Hmm.
Ezra Miller because I think they made again not the best DC movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's
I mean,
definitely
compared to the last few, especially like Wonder Woman 1984 and all that, I think this is a
yeah. I
really
was
good.
gonna
Like,
say it's up
I
there.
left surprised by it.
Yeah,
Even though I gave it a C, I actually liked the movie. I wasn't bored a single moment in the movie. I didn't feel there was definitely some cringy lines, but it also made sense for the type of Barry that they're telling. He's a very awkward person. Even to the very end, he's very awkward. And I like it. He's very nervous, awkward. I especially love one thing about him, and I don't know if they brought it up, they show it in Justice League and that. I may have to go back and watch that. But I like that, like, this is the first Flash that I know of where they show that, like, I guess that might be a spoiler, but it's more about his energy and how he, keeps going.
I mean
So,
that's in the Flash TV show. They always talk about like
oh, I
how
like
much
that a
he
lot.
has. Yeah,
I love that
that's
because
not a
then it shows
spoiler.
that he has
It's
a weakness because like
yeah.
he needs that to keep going.
Well, yeah, because
So I like that.
he's not like a superhero. Like he could run really
Hmm.
fast, but he needs a suit to come down the um, um what's the fucking thing called when you rub up against something? The friction, the
Yeah,
friction.
yeah,
He
yeah.
needs a suit to come down. So he's like a realistic superhero that can run at the speed of light. So
Hmm.
yeah, he needs to eat food to keep his energy up. I think it makes sense, and it grounds him in
No,
kind
I
of
think that's
humanity.
cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's always been a part of the Flash, But I don't think you've ever read a single Flash comic, so
No, I
nope,
haven't.
that's
So
fine.
that's why, again, for me, this is like all new.
Yeah,
So
yeah, so
I
that's
do want to
good.
go see the movie now, the Flash Paradox one. I know it's on Max. Such a stupid fucking name.
Yeah. All
But
right. Let's move it on. The next
yeah.
thing, we'll let's go to XDefiant. The XDefiant beta was this week. Logan and I both sat down and played it. He's talking to somebody, so I hope it's his significant other. If it's not, it's gonna be an awkward conversation. So I'm trying to distract him. But anyway, okay. We both sat down and played XDefiant Wednesday night. The beta launched. So Logan and I sat down and played it. So here are our opinions of it.
Yeah.
Here's our opinions. In uno momento.
Hey, you want to show them? It's your thing.
Oh, that's sick. What is it?
What? Yeah. It's
I know it's Persona.
makeup.
Persona makeup.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I don't care about the makeup aspect of it, but I care about the Persona
But
aspect
yeah, it
of
comes
it.
with like 2 tiers of stuff.
That's cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
It's very shiny.
Took a while to get here, but it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And the makeup's pretty nice. So
I
I especially like the box a lot.
I tried to buy the official record, an album of it. It's like $120.
Thank you.
I'm like, I'm not spending that much on a record.
Yeah.
It's super expensive. But anyway,
Oh,
all right. XDefiant.
Yes.
Broken as shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know how else to phrase it.
It was very broken.
I guess I'll answer this right off the bat. Even taking out all the problems that we had with it and everything, the big question and people going around, Call of Duty killer. Well, nothing's going to kill Call of Duty but Call of Duty. Let's get that out of the way first and foremost. But is this on that level? And my answer for me is not even close, honestly.
Yeah.
I left session. We played for about 3 hours. And I left it going, okay, I'll play it, but I'm glad I don't have to pay for it.
Yes.
Like I was fairly let down, actually. Everyone out there, all the YouTubers, everyone talking about, oh my god, this is amazing. It feels so good. The movement's incredible. The gunplay feels great. And I'm like, honestly, it feels like a free-to-play game. Like, we kept making fun of the mounting animation, and it's because it's not there.
Oh, I tried it. It's good. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You just go to mount something, and you just go move up. There's no hand animation. There's no feeling of momentum or anything like that. I don't know. I left the beta pretty disappointed. I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna see if there's what the progression's like. We didn't get a sense of what all that and what it feels like. When I don't have to restart the game 7 times to get in to play the game. So we'll see all that. But just in terms of how it plays and everything, I thought it felt like a free-to-play game, and I guess that's not really what I expected. Maybe my expectations were a little higher based off what people out there were saying, and I think some of them are actually kind of full of shit, honestly, a little bit. Some of the other YouTubers and content creators talking about it, and I was like, you guys are kind of full of shit, honestly, and you're a little bit of a COD haters, because, I'm not the biggest fan of that right now, but it plays really well, and it feels good, so...
All right. Here's my thoughts real quick. So first thing first, I'm going to talk about the fact that we had a really shitty experience on our first day.
Probably the worst I've ever had in the beta.
Did not help us at all, because matchmaking and joining each other and just trying to get into matches was hell. I mean, we spent over an hour just for the first thing. They said crossplay is working. We played this day 1. So maybe they fix it in the next 2 days. I don't know. I didn't get to play. So we're just going to say from our experience on the day 1 only, this is our experience of just playing the first day of the beta. I got it on PC. Mike had it on PS5. God, it was hell just trying to add each other on Ubisoft Connect. But then, even after that, we just couldn't join each other. It would just never show me online for Mike. There was no way for him to see my invites. I tried inviting him. We tried so many different options. We watched a bunch of videos. Nothing was working. And then we finally figured out that a lot of people were having that issue, and no one was able to join each other crossplay. So I downloaded it on PS5. So we started playing, and then I'll be getting into the actual when we do get in matches. But every time we played a match, and we got out of the match, the game broke. And we had to all quit out of the game and go back in. And this was after, literally every match. It was really
And
bad. Look, so
also,
the first
it's
thing,
not a
my
seamless
peak,
get back in. Because for me, it
no.
would take 3 to 4 resets to
hmm
actually get back into the game.
And there was a bunch of times where I even got back in and it would say I'm still in your lobby and then it would get stuck on the 9 seconds. The notorious 9 seconds. Holy shit. Like, well, here's what's funny. So I was playing on
9%, not
PS5.
9 seconds.
Mike was joining me and it was all fine. I was having the smoothest experience. And then I joined Mike and literally everything breaks for me. Like he was having a far worse experience than I was.
Oh, it was
But
rough, dude.
then I joined him and I started having his experience as well, where literally it just seemed like every match I played, it was not loading me back in. The UI would break, his name would go away. Like this was worse than the Call of Duty beta, which we had a lot of problems in that. But no, this was like 3 times that. So this is coming out this summer. They have a lot of shit to fix when it comes to that. Now, let me get into some positives real quick. I'm gonna do a little bit of a compliment sandwich here. So positives, map design, I think is really good. I actually really like the map designs. We didn't get to play a lot of the maps, but there was one map I got to play that I know me and Mike didn't get to play. That was like in the Division. I love the themes of the maps. I think they're all pretty well designed in my opinion. I think most of the modes that we were playing were really fun. I know we didn't really get to do like TDM or anything, which I was very curious to see how that would be, but we did do like you had to move a robot from point
The
A to point
Overwatch mode,
B.
yeah.
Yeah, the Overwatch mode pretty much. And then they had basically a captured what is it called? Like King of the Hill, or not King of the Hill. It's more
Like Control.
what's Control or Hard Point?
Yeah,
Or
I
what
guess
was it?
I guess
Yeah.
I guess it'd be a hard
Yeah.
point, yeah.
Yeah, so again, all those modes were pretty fun in my opinion. But I also want to say it seemed like they had a pretty decent weapon variety, and they had a lot of choice with its classes. But I want to get back to the negative now again. Netcode really needs some working. Like they said they fixed the netcode. I call bullshit because literally there was times I was shooting at people and the bullets were going through them, which is something I haven't experienced since the early 2000s, and people are definitely correct on that. Man, I am truly getting a classic Call of Duty feeling because literally netcode back in the old CODs were pretty rough. That's one thing I especially think the new CODs have done a very good job with. I barely ever have that happen. Like very so rare does that ever happen in Call of Duty for me now. But and this, I was noticing it quite a bit. Like I would be shooting someone and the bullets would just be passing through them, and I'm like, what? And then I would just get mad because that's a problem with the game. Like for a fast-paced shooter like this, you need it to like your bullets to hit, And if it doesn't, it starts to feel like bullshit. It's unfair, and then it's just not fun. And I've had that happen to me multiple times while we were playing. Secondly, I think the animations need some working. As Mike said, with faulting, that is the most like bare bone animation I've ever seen in a shooter to this day. Like I've seen mobile shooters have more animation style than that game did. Where literally like your vaulting is just that's it. Like you don't actually move your hand and climb over the wall. No, no, no. You go. That's what you do. That's the vaulting animation. It is bad. I think they need to work on those animations a little bit, smooth them out, butter them up. I don't know, do something to them because they look rough. Um, Also, um, the classes. Let me get to that. There's a positive and a negative. I think there is a lot of variety of classes, but I could clearly tell in the beta, instantly people already knew what to go for. It was like only two of the two of the actual I can't think of the word
Operators.
operators. Two of the operator slots that you could choose from, like the Splinter Cell one, the Ghost Recon one. Those were like the only two people used. I occasionally seen people use very, very rarely seen the Watchdog one, but I did hear that the Watchdog's spider bot actually became a lot more popular and is very broken, which I could tell to myself was quite broken because you can literally throw down the bot and it freezes somebody and they can do nothing about it. You just go around the corner and shoot them. They can't react. They can't do anything. You can't even stop the bot. So yeah, that's a little rough. I didn't really see much people use a Far Cry operator almost at all. So I don't really know. I didn't get to use the Far Cry Operator, so I have no idea how that feels. But yeah. So yeah, first impressions in general for me, not great. I do want to try it out again when it fully comes out, but they need to do some work. Because it is just not in a good state right now, and I also don't think they gave people enough time to play this game. 3 days was a stupid amount of like that. Like Call of Duty gave you basically a week, but this game gave you 3 days, and it was even probably even full 3 days. We didn't even get access to Defiant until like 12, so we got half a day, and then there was probably what a full day and then another half day. I'm gonna assume. So you
Yeah.
probably only got an actually 2 days to actually play the game, and that's not enough time. And I also think, especially for this being the first beta for the consoles, whereas PCs had a lot more time with this game, you really didn't test a lot here. And I don't know how much they fixed in those 2 days, which I'm going to assume probably nothing. Uh, I don't know how you're going to come out this summer with this game. I mean, you probably have like a month or so, then that game has to be releasing, right? Because you said summer. So it would have to be coming pretty soon.
Unless
So
it's like, late August. It's technically still
yeah,
summer.
that's true. But like, yeah, I think they need to really smooth some stuff out. Netcode especially needs to be fixed. Like heavily needs to be fixed. I think the UI, let me go to another compliment real quick. UI is far better than Call of Duty.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
great.
that right
Awesome.
now. Let's get to another negative. I'm gonna jump back to it real quick. Fire range. Why the fuck can you not just jump into the firing range immediately? I hate that you have to not. By the way, if you're playing multiplayer, you can't get into the firing range at all. You have to be in your own lobby. Then you have to join a server, which takes a lot of time to load in, and then finally you're in the firing range. You should add the firing range immediately. Like it should be like a super easy thing where you can just load into a firing range, test your weapons out. I think it's super annoying the process to test your weapons. So please fix that.
Well, I think it's because they
Go
have
to.
like this whole level, like for the fire range, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not needed.
No, it's not. Like
Y-
you can literally just have us like just do what Call of Duty does. You just drop us into a literal firing range, a small little firing range, and then let me just test out my weapons to see,
Yeah.
recoil and all that. And I just yeah, that needs to be fixed. But I will also give another compliment here. I do think it has a more classic feel. So like some people may be like for you especially, it may be like a whoa like slap in the face because it's like it's completely different the movement style in this game to like what Call of Duty is nowadays. Where I do really like Call of Duty quite a bit. This is more classic Call of Duty for sure. Like this is way more of like the Black Ops 2 days in my opinion of like how it feels. It feels a lot more classic, which is fine with me. I went in knowing that it was far more of a classic type of Call of Duty feeling. It wasn't the more modern Call of Duty that we know today. But that doesn't mean that you should cut out on animations and stuff like that. And then also, again, I didn't want the classic netcode from the classic Call of Duty. Please fix that. So yeah, I mean, again, I had a pretty good time, but if I had to rate it right now, I had like a C, probably average, probably actually with all the technical issues, almost a D experience with the game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not kind of that against it because I just chalk that up to beta. Like, there's
Yeah,
clearly a lot of stuff needs to be worked on and fixed. So that's fine. I don't know. All the talk, everyone, some of the people I trust on the internet, some of the YouTubers that I go to for like FPS experience because they know a lot more than I do. So I trust their opinions and all that. And I don't know. I just kind of think they're blowing smoke up people's ass a little bit. Like there's people
I think
talking
people
about,
want a competitor for Call of Duty really
well, yeah,
badly, which I
obviously,
do
but
too.
like the people have to earn it. You know,
I know.
you
Yeah,
you have to.
I, I, again, I want this to do well. I know we're talking negative, both me and him, but like, we gotta be honest about it. And it's just like I know that it's again trying to be more of a classic Call of Duty feel, but I think it's trying a little too hard to be that classic Call of Duty feel because we definitely had a lot of technical issues, and I just think yeah they need to. I think they need another couple months to work on this game. I think they should delay it. I think they should really put some more time into it, some more R&R, as I would say, because it's still rough. And again, I think only having this one beta for the consoles was not a good move, especially with how just insanely rough it was, the experience. Um, yeah, it just needs more time in the oven. It's just not great right now. And I want it to be really good, and I want something to compete against Call of Duty. And I do think it's close, but I think all the technical issues, all the problems I'm having, it really just, yeah, it just, please delay it. Please delay it. I don't want it to come out soon. I think people are blowing up a little bit of smoke up people's asses with this game because I definitely don't think it is a Call of Duty killer. Like especially even going to Cold War, which was trying to be the more classic Call of Duty, that game still feels so much better than this game. So
Yeah, can I be honest?
yeah,
I don't even think this game's even close to Call of Duty. Like, I don't think it's even playing in the same ballpark.
no, it's not.
No,
It's not. And again,
again,
it just
I don't think it's bad. I was let. Um, again, a part of me wants to say it's bad. A part of me wants to say
mhm,
I didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like the way it. I didn't like the way the shooting felt. All the guns felt for me very similar. Didn't feel like a lot of difference between the guns for me.
mhm.
Can't go prone, so it takes away like strategic
Oh
advantages
yeah, yeah, I forgot
while
about
you're
that. Yeah.
playing.
Oh, that's
And
a
it's
good point. We
yeah,
forgot about that. Yeah. They made these maps with this cover that you can't even really hide behind. Even if you crouch, your head still pops above it. It's like, then what's the point? So like, please add prone. But I
again,
also agree with you on the weapons. They don't really feel punchy. They need more punch. They definitely do feel like more like a mobile game where it just feels like there's no
like I
recoil.
said,
There's no like punch.
it feels like a free to play game, which I guess fair enough.
Yeah.
It is. I just everyone that wouldn't say the way people were talking about this felt like a premium AAA shooter, which again, it's not.
Hmm.
I guess that's on me for believing that because it is a free to play game, but I don't know. I was expecting a lot more. Again, I want to say it's bad. That's my subjective point of my persons coming in. Objectively, it's not bad. I think, the map design is fantastic. I was really involved. I think they are way too proud of it because it takes 15 seconds of you looking at the map before you even start the match, and then it takes another 30 seconds for the fucking doors to open up in the match, and it's just everything just feels kind of slow, you know? It feels like the
Yeah.
game's just kind of like crawling around at a pace, and it's like, for all the problems that COD has, it's boom, boom, boom. You're in there, you're playing the game, you die, you respawn, go, 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 and
Mhm.
it's engaging that way. And I don't know, I left this very disappointed, but I am still gonna play it. I mean, I don't have to
Yeah,
spend any money to play
I'm.
it, so
I think I'll be. I'm very still in. I'm a little interested in when it actually does come out to actually try it out, and hopefully they do fix quite a bit of these things. There's definitely things that I know they're not going to be able to fix, like clearly animations, stuff like that. That's probably not going to be fixed. But I am hoping at least the netcode's fixed. I hope that crossplay actually works. Three. I also hope. What was it? Just in I don't know, just a smoother experience. Maybe yeah, they can cut down on those load times. That would be very nice because yeah, it just takes way too long to get into a match. It takes too long to do just about anything in the game. So increase that speed, make it a lot more smoother. This is supposed to be a very casual, fun shooter game. Like, just make it a lot faster, like way faster to get into games, in my opinion. So
all right. Well, that was it. Said I was I left very, very, very underwhelmed Wednesday night. I was kind of sad. I was like, damn, I wanted that to be more. But let's throw two more things out before I get into the big one. So what else have you been playing? I mean, I know what it is, but let people know what you've been playing.
yeah, so I actually tried out a new game that's been kind of blowing up called Battlebit Remastered. Um, it's really good. I'll definitely tell you that. But I really suck at it. Um, Mainly because it only has mouse and keyboard support, and
Oh,
oh god,
oh
is it
man.
painful, man. Like I think if they added controller support, I would enjoy it a lot more, but like I tried playing on mouse and keyboard, my hands were like, no. And I just didn't have the reaction time, and that's why I just wasn't enjoying it. Like I know this game's only made by 3 people, so I can't really like expect much, but I do really want to enjoy it because it definitely does seem like they're doing some really cool stuff with this game. I do think it looks like it doesn't look like much. It looks like Roblox, but I think the gameplay and the maps and everything they're honestly making Battlefield look like a joke. because they are doing things that Battlefield has not done. I mean, the fact that you can have 256 players on a map is stupid, but it is actually pretty fun. I want to get better at it because I really, really do like what they have here. It's just really hard for me because I'm not used to mouse and keyboard. There's only one game I can play with mouse and keyboard, and that's Ready or Not. And that's because it's kind of like it's not like super difficult to learn the controls, whereas Battlebit Remastered has a lot going on. Like, you could build shit, you can get vehicles, there's a whole bunch of things to do in the flying the vehicles. And by the way, I feel like vehicles with a mouse and keyboard is awful.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know how
everyone's
people
always
do it. I
known
don't know
that.
how
So
people do it. I just don't know how. It's insane. But like I sort of got down the controls of like actually shooting and aiming and stuff. And sort of like learned a little bit of sprinting. But yeah, as soon as I got in a vehicle, I was just so confused. Like, I couldn't even get out of the vehicle because I was like hitting all the keys trying to figure out how to get out of the vehicle because I literally had no
that's
fucking
awesome.
clue.
That's
But
awesome.
I do think this is a really cool game. From the little bit I played, which wasn't a lot, it's really fun. It's totally worth the money. If you get it, Mike, I would totally play it with you. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's like 15
We
bucks,
could
isn't it?
both suck together at this game and actually try to learn how to use mouse and keyboard.
Hey,
But
I
I
have a
do think it's
little
really
bit more.
fun.
I have a little bit more experience with mouse and keyboard, so maybe this is my chance to be better than you at an FPS.
Dude, you'll probably,
Yeah.
yeah. But I still think it's really, really fun. So it would be fun to play together. It's not really expensive. And again, it has so much support. I mean, this was supposedly made by 3 people, which is insane, by the way. And it has a ton of maps, a ton of stuff going on, quite a bit of modes. It already has a server browser built in, I believe. Again, it's in the customization, the amount of guns in the game. It's insane. Again, it's like what I've always wanted with Battlefield, and I feel like they're kind of shitting on Battlefield 2042 right now. Which, I mean, I will admit, 2042 has gotten better, but I do think this is doing some really cool stuff.
Hey,
So,
weird question. You ever just like stretch your back and just kind of rub your belly? That's what I'm doing right now. It feels so good.
what are you, Santa Claus?
I don't know, man. Just kind of, I don't know. It's like
I
arch
don't
your,
think I've ever done that.
really, you know, like arch your
No,
back and just kind of like lightly rub like your sternum. Oh, dude, it
no.
feels so good. You should do it. All right, I'm gonna stop doing it now because now I feel weird. But all right, before I get into the big one, I played another round of Civilization Revolution. I went for a different victory this time. For those of you who listened to last week's episode, you know I jumped on this on PlayStation Plus. Wanted to try out some of the stuff that's on there while I was waiting for FF16. And yeah, I really do love this game, man. It's like I tried for a different one. I tried for a cultural victory this time, which I technically got it, but it took too long to build the final building. So the game ended and it gave me a domination victory, which I hate those now. But oh, by the way, yeah, I figured out this game does have an end. I got to it. I got to the final year that you could play. So I got all the way to the end. I played.
Really?
Yeah, it ends at 2099. It's the final year that you can play.
Oh,
Yeah, and I got there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's still just I don't know how to describe this game really. It's just like the chill man's sim. You know, I don't know. It's like you get on. There is quite a bit of nuance with like some of the things you research and like how you go about it. But man, you can just get on and you can build soldier units and just go attacking people if you want, and it's just like whatever. It's chill. And it's just fun. That session
I
lasts like
really wish they would kind of continued it. I don't know how the sales were for the game, but I really wish they would bring it back because I do think it's like they have Civilization, which is great, and I'm sure people really love it. But I kind of like it because it's more simplified in a sense. But that doesn't mean that it's like too easy. There again, as you said, there's a lot of strategy in it, and I just really wish they'd bring it back because that's like the one strategy game that I absolutely loved.
yeah. I don't know. I tried looking up sales. No definitive number. So yeah, it's really fun. PlayStation Plus works well for me. So actually, the other day when I was waiting on you to set up your monitor, I got on PlayStation Plus on my computer and started playing some God of War. And while that's not the as clean a connection as it is to my PlayStation, which is hardlined, obviously it's going to be a lot more smoother. I played the entire first level while I was waiting for you to set up your monitor, and then the apocalypse hit, so I didn't do too much more after that. But I think PlayStation Plus works pretty darn well, honestly. Like, again, I guess I'm lucky I have good internet, consistent. internet. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's get into it. For those of you that have been looking behind my left shoulder this whole time, I guess to you guys it's my right. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I have Final Fantasy XVI, and I've been playing quite a bit of it. Not as much the last 2 days because of everything that's been going on, but I'm a little over 20 hours in, 48% done with the game. I love that PlayStation tracks that if it's built into the card system and the menus. You know, like if the developers build all that in, it tracks your game progression through the story. So I'm 48% done with the game. Said about 20 hours in. PlayStation says I'm 18, but I feel like that tracking got a little screwed up during all the power outages and network downing and all that. So, and I have to say, those of you who know, I talk about this game. I've been talking about this game for a long time. I could not wait to play it. I want to get some of the stuff out there real quick. It's not perfect, but this game is absolutely incredible, man. It may not be the most flawless execution in the history of video games. Some of the performance, it's not amazing. Even though Digital Foundry like says it's absolutely flawless and perfect, I don't feel that. But I didn't really watch the video because they started showing stuff that was later in the game, and I just completely clicked off. So maybe you watched the entire video so you can give me a better perspective on it, what they said.
So, you want to hear something really weird about this game? Well, first, I'm going to talk about this. The system that they're using to upscale the resolution, for some reason, they decided to use FSR1. So they're not even using the newest techniques of bringing the resolution up. So that's one thing you may notice is a flaw. But secondly, a really weird thing, and I've never seen any video game ever do this, but in performance mode, during you traveling around or walking around and exploring, you'll have really bad like frames going like from 30 to 40 and all that. But as soon as you get into combat, for some reason it will lower the resolution so you get a smooth 60. That's what's going on.
Okay.
It makes no sense
because I said,
why
dude,
they
combat.
don't just cap it at 60 at all times, but for some reason in combat that's the only time it'll hit 60 because they wanted the environments to look sharper. But in my opinion, if you're going to go to performance, then let them have performance all the way through. That's something they need to fix.
I guess that makes
so
a lot
that's
of
why it feels so jarring for you. That's
Yeah.
the reason why it feels so weird, is because of that reason.
Because, like I said, dude, combat, buttery smooth. And there's a lot going on during combat. There's, you want to talk about particle effects. There's effects
Even in the,
flying everywhere.
they even showcase some of the bigger moments in the game, and I'm like, dude, like they're like, it's flawless. Like, it's flawless. But as soon as, again, you get to explore, nope.
Yeah, I haven't ran into any of the overheating problems because I'm not an idiot and I actually clean out my consoles pretty regularly. It's very easy with a PlayStation. You pop the sides off and you take a little air duster to it. You clean off the fan. You're good to go. It's not hard. So people experiencing the overheating problems, maybe try cleaning off your stuff every once in a while. So what? Oh, you're just meeting. Okay. Just a couple more small problems. Quest design. You can definitely tell in side quest design this game was made by people who made an MMO. The side quest aren't very good. The main quest so far is fucking phenomenal, dude. The story, the narrative, the characters, everything. You can go through the list. It is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, side quest design was definitely made by. We're not talking about Witcher side quest here. That much is for sure. So. And then my final thing is the pacing. It's weird, all right? It's hard to explain. The pacing feels kind of off, but that's only because the highs are some of the highest highs I've ever had in video games. Some of the top echelon moments that I've played through the first half of this game is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in a video game. Some of the most badass moments, storytelling, gameplay, all culminating together in just moments that like make my skin just like crawl. It's like I'm getting chills all the time playing this game. And then you have the moments in between those that probably objectively aren't bad moments. It's not, paced that way. It's just that this game has so many high highs that when it's not hitting that ceiling, it feels like the pacing is just tanked. And I guess that's the fault of the game for being too good in moments and not carrying that all the way through. So that's kind of hard to explain that perspective, but the pacing does feel a little off every now and then. All right, let me get to the goods, because the goods are almost endless. Every single frame of this, Logan, and I know you're not on screen, but you can still hear me. So every single frame of this game screams, we threw money at this thing. Some of the set pieces and some of the visuals and some of the things that happen in this game just scream Square Enix gave them a bottomless wallet and just said, whatever you want to do, put it on screen. We'll figure out the finances later. This is like the personification of someone in sweatpants pulling up in a Porsche. It's like, yeah, I got money. That is what it is. Deal with it. And it's so awesome. I have this whole sequence that I want to send to you, but I wanted to I did want to send it to you if you plan on playing it. If you don't plan on playing it, I will send you the whole
I do.
video. Okay, so I'm not going to send
I've
it to
been
you, though.
very impressed with what I've been seeing lately, and I'm like, this actually looks like a Final Fantasy I will play.
Yes.
Like, I love the character, main character in general. At least I think he's the main character. I think he looks unbelievably so fucking cool. Like, probably the coolest Final Fantasy character I've seen out of all of them. So, yeah, I do want to play it at some point. Again, it's going to be down the line farther, but I will be playing it at some point for
Okay.
sure.
So I'm not going to send you that because it's a very pivotal moment. But it's this moment where it's such a culmination of storytelling, character development, and gameplay all working together to give you this just epic moment of fuck yes. The amount of times I've just said fuck yes in this game while playing it just to myself, honestly, more than I ever said during Ragnarok. Again, God of War Ragnarok is a better game. This game has better moments. The high marks of this game are beyond expectations, and it's a weird feeling. Yeah, the combat, awesome. I've sent Logan some like little video things in here and there. I'm figuring out the combat. It's really starting to get much more in depth. The first 15 to 20 hours or so, you only have a couple things to play with. So I just unlocked my my third icon ability. So I have a lot more things and a lot more tools to play with. And I will say, combat, amazing. Visuals, amazing. Storytelling so far, well, amazing. Very well done. But there are, problems here and there that the game is not a perfect video game. No game ever is. But I also don't think it's truly reaching that special tier for me yet. Maybe the last half of the game, the story, all those problems kind of go away just because the game is that good, I hope. But yeah, that's all I really want to say. I want to do an in-depth review on this when I finish it and give you my full perspective. I will say there's a lot of people complaining out there about like the gear system and the upgrade systems kind of being like whatever's, just like numbers. And it's like, I don't think you've ever played a Final Fantasy. The gear system's always just been like, you get a better sword, you use that sword. That's just what it is. That's what Final Fantasy's always been. And I don't know. I love that about it. I'm absolutely enamored with this game, dude. I can't stop wanting to play this game. And it's just, dude, I don't know. It's fantastic. It's not my favorite Final Fantasy sitting right now. That one's still Final Fantasy X. Still probably my favorite Final Fantasy I've ever played. But this is a much better game than Final Fantasy X so far. And I think you would enjoy this, but you wouldn't like enjoy it as much as maybe I'm enjoying it, just because it does have a reverence for like past games and all that, and it does have those moments and those feelings that it's harkening back to 1997, 1998 of Final Fantasy games, and some of that's still feelings. But I do still think you would absolutely enjoy it because you're a gameplay guy, and the combat in here
That's
is
what I'm talking about.
super awesome. It does take a little while to get there, like I was saying. Like, the first 10 hours, you only have like one, maybe two powers to play with. But then as you get further into the game, you unlock a whole bunch of other stuff. There's 4 to 5 different actions or specialties that come with each ability. There's movement abilities that come with each of those. And then it just kind of keeps stacking on top. It's like they built an amazing base. All right. You have your bread of your hamburger, and it's fantastic. And they just start throwing shit on top of that hamburger until it's stacked this fucking high, right? And that's what it feels like the combat is going to end up for me as I get into the second half of the game. But I just have to report, overall, I'm blown away by 90% of this game. And the other 10%, I'm like, man, it's fine. But 90% of this game is absolutely fucking phenomenal. And I can't wait to get back to play it. And that's all I have to say about that. Logan, any questions?
No, just I'm happy to hear that you like it. I assume you were gonna like it no matter what, even if it wasn't probably the best thing ever. You'd probably still enjoy it. It's Final Fantasy. But I know I really like the screenshots you've been showing me. They look really cool, and I think the combat again really has me intrigued because I love that it's a little bit more action packed. With the fact that, like, it seemed like, as you said, more like Devil May Cry in a sense with its combat style. Would you say it's more like Devil May Cry, or what are you thinking? Because that's
Uh,
one thing I'm a little
it's a happy medium between the
okay.
like it's a happy medium between like Devil May Cry and like 7 remake or something like that. It's not completely combo based. Like you're not
Hmm.
hitting, you know, XX square pause. Oh, sorry, cross. My bad. You're not hitting square pause, triangle pause. You're not doing all these different like combo interactions. It is, you hit X. It's a basic attack. You can chain that together 4 times, but you can like link so many different things together, and like each move can be chained into another move to like bring you up to like essentially this like epic dance of combat. And then
Hmm.
when I'm telling you, when you chain together uh, dodges and counters and parries, and then you mix that in with attacking, and you get in that flow. There's a flow to this game. Like every time I boot it up, my first like combat scenario that I run into, I kind of trip my way through it to kind of I gotta get back into that flow. But man, once you settle into the rhythm of this combat system, it sings, man. It said you are dancing on screen, and it feels so good when you string together. When you have this big boss just like throwing attacks at you, and you're just standing there, dodge, counter, zoop in, attack, 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 stagger, bounce back, dodge, counter. It flows so well. But if you're not in that flow state, it can get a little feels like you're tripping over yourself sometimes. And there's a lot of buttons to press. Holy sh! Uh, I have moved to the Pro controller with this game because there are so many buttons to press at the same time. Like it gets so bad. There's a charge attack. You can hold square to ignite your sword, and you can do like a
Hmm.
powerful move with that. But then also, if you jump and you're in air, you do an up swipe to launch the enemy. But you have to hold square while that flame is charged, and then you have to like move your finger over to hit X while moving towards the enemy, then let go of square to charge them up. So man, it's finger gymnastics over here right now for me. So, but man, I just yeah, again, I think you'll enjoy it. I don't think you'll love it like I was, but I think you can enjoy the game because it doesn't overstay its welcome either. It's one of those good games that it's going to be a 40 or so hour experience and then it's going to be done. And I like that. I love when games respect my time as a player and say, look, we have a story. It's a long story. It's not like, it's not Call of Duty campaign length, but
Hmm.
we're not going to overstay our welcome, And I think that's something that was sorely missing in modern games. I don't need a 100-hour game every single time I sit down to play something. Sometimes I want a 40-hour game. Sometimes I want a 10-hour game. It just depends. But I think this game so far is shaping up to be a fantastic 40-hour experience.
That's great, man. No, I mean, it sounds cool. That does sound really cool. Again, this will probably be the one and only Final Fantasy I'll probably ever play unless they keep going down this line.
And
So,
it does feel in the way the game plays, it feels something entirely different from Final Fantasy, but like in the aesthetics of it, how it looks,
mhm.
the way it's written, all that is definitely Final Fantasy. So, excuse me. But yeah, so far I think it's fantastic. There's a weird, loud majority of the internet that's like super pissed and all that about this game. Of course, there's always gonna be. So I try not to listen to him, but it scored well. It reviewed well. By the way, it did drop to 89, so you have a bullseye on that. I'm sure you're
Told
excited.
you.
So
I
yeah,
knew somebody was gonna bring it down.
yeah. Someone gave it like I still think the lowest score is a 6, which this game is not a 6, but that's okay. Difference of opinions. But all right, man, let's move it on. We've ran long. That's okay. We haven't talked for a while, so because we tried to sit down for a couple of days and didn't get to say anything. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Well, before I do that, let me know down below if what you guys have been playing this week. Have you jumped into Final Fantasy 16? Did you try out Battlebit? We're gonna bring that back around. Talk about that in a little bit. What do you think of the Flash movie? If you guys got to check it out, whatever you have to say, let us know down below. Talk to us. We will always engage with everyone who makes a comment. Try to answer every single one. So let us know down below. We're gonna go now to Pots, also known as Point of the Show. And this week, like the past like 3 or 4 weeks, we are sitting down reviewing and talking about a showcase. This time, the Nintendo Direct for 2023. It came out of absolutely nowhere. They announced it, had it the next day, so Logan and I did not get a chance to sit down and live react to it, just because it kind of came out of nowhere and it was like up at like 10 a.m. for us, so he was at work and it just didn't work out. So sorry we didn't get a live reaction to this, but we both did get a chance to sit down and see it, watch it. So I forgot who went last with the scores, so I'm just gonna say my score real quick and talk about what I thought about it. I don't know whose turn it is. For what this was, for where Nintendo is in their timeline of the console, we are at the end of the Switch's life cycle. Even though they refuse to say that it is, we have to be, unless they just plan on never making another console ever again. We feel like we're at the tail end of the Switch's life cycle. So I went into this expecting, there's going to be one or two things, and a bunch of it's going to be blah. So this thing blew my expectations out of the water. I was not expecting this many things, whether they looked good or not, this many big name players coming to the table and showing off a bunch of cool shit. So my expectations were set super low. So I guess maybe that's where I'm coming from, where I did not expect this showcase from Nintendo going on 7 years after the Switch has been to market. So I think this is an A showcase. I think this is absolutely fantastic. Not everything looks amazing. I have my complaints about how things looks, but just content-wise, the amount of things they had here, I did not expect this from them.
Okay. Um, I would give this a B for sure. I don't know if I'm gonna go all the way up to A or anything. I think this is a good showcase. Again, a kind of a big surprise in my opinion too. I agree with you. I literally did not expect anywhere close as many games as they showcased here. They actually showcased a quite a bit. Not saying all of them hit. There's definitely some that were very, very meh. Like okay, but there definitely was a lot of like big ones. Especially the Mario stuff. Like I was very impressed with that. Well, sort of impressed that they showed off a lot more new games. But not impressed in like the fact that I care for it. But yeah, I think it's a B. I think this was a surprisingly good showcase. And again, it came out of nowhere. I had no idea this was coming out, and then I literally woke up and I looked at my phone and it said, "Oh, hey, there's a Nintendo showcase in a couple hours," and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, so I watched it before I went to work. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely like I feel like for sure B tier. I don't think I can give it an A. I don't think it was like absolutely fantastic. I would say again like either a fourth to like a half of this showcase was great. The rest of it was a lot of mediocre. But again, kind of a surprise by how many games they showcased, especially for this. I'm gonna hope it's probably gonna be it's dwindling down from here. I hope that this is where they're gonna start moving to the next Switch. Hopefully by this year they talk about it.
Eventually, I keep
Yeah.
we keep predicting it. Everyone keeps predicting it. It just doesn't ever seem to happen. Which I guess fair enough. They're still selling these things like hotcakes. So,
Hmm.
but all right. So a little lower than me. Like I said, my expectations were at the fucking bottom. Like I was sitting
Yeah.
here. I was like, all right, we're moving into the 7th year of the Switch now. They may have one super cool thing. And I just didn't expect them to announce so many new things. Again, the Mario stuff, the Detective Pikachu stuff. We'll get into each and everything, but like whether I thought the game looked good or not, I still have to respect the just breadth of content they were able to bring here this late in this console's life cycle. So I'm a lower A. Like I still think Xbox's was overall better, but I don't think it was that much better to really separate the two away from each other in any meaningful regard. So. But all right, let's go ahead and go through it. Again, this isn't in order. I didn't write down the order. I keep forgetting to do that. So we're just going to go through whatever they has here. Obviously, everyone's talking about the two brand new Mario games. Well, one brand new Mario game.
Hmm.
The two Mario games that they come out. They debuted the first 2D Mario in, what, like 10 years now? It's been forever since we've got an
Yeah.
actual 2D Mario game. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. And I thought it looked good. I know Logan doesn't like the art style. We've already kind of talked about it. I don't know. I thought it looked fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that impressed anymore with 2D Mario. You know, like I feel like ever since we got the 3D Mario, I feel like that's the future and that's where they should keep going. And they do that. Like we had Odyssey, but I think I would have been far more excited if this was a 3D Mario than it being a 2D Mario. It's not that I just don't think even with the new stuff they showed here, was it like I just feel like is this new? Like, yeah, we got some crazy things with a different power up, but I feel like this is the same 2D Mario we've gotten for like literally ever. I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with it. Everyone else is like their minds are blown. I'm like this just looks like 2D Mario. It looks like something you can make in Mario Maker. I know you can't get the power up that makes all the freaking pipes go all swirly, but like I
I
don't really
think
see it being
I
that
think
crazy. I don't know. People are like, "Whoa," and I'm like, "It looks okay." I'd be far more excited if it was a 3D Mario. Maybe it's just because I like 3D Mario's more, but I mean, I do like 2D Mario. I think my favorite 2D Mario game is Super Mario Bros. 3. That game slaps. It's so freaking good. Um, but I just haven't been impressed with the Super Mario 2D and literally ever. And I don't know, I just feel like they should move away from it. In my opinion, where they should have went with this game is that 3D World game that came out. I find that to be a far more interesting than this, where it's at like 2D 3D. It's like in between the both of them. I found that to be a lot more exciting and a lot more cool than this. Like I especially think for this being a 2D Mario game, I don't think it's visually impressive whatsoever. Like, I just think this looks okay. I don't know. Again, that's just me. Maybe it's just I'm not impressed with 2D Mario games again, but there's a lot of people that are freaking out about it, but I just think it looks okay. So,
I don't know if I'm freaking out about it. I just, again, it's one of the things that I was like, oh, they're making another 2D Mario game. That's to me, that's really cool. I love the way they play. I love the way they feel. There's only, I guess, so much you can do content wise with a 2D Mario game, like you're saying. But I expect that, and I think the addition of the Wonder. Uh, it's I believe they said it's like it's random for like each time it shows up. So like any of like X amount of events can happen, and I think that just leads to a obviously a era of unpredictability in a series in a game that most people think is predictable nowadays. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays when it comes out. I thought this was really cool. I'm probably not a day one on this. I'm a day one on the one coming up that we'll talk about in a couple
yeah,
minutes.
no, that one,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I thought this was the one that kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting this. There were rumors about the next one happening that I had read, so that one took me less by surprise. But the 2D one being here, I did not expect, and it's gonna sell like hotcakes. Mario
Mhm.
just made $1 billion at the box office, so Nintendo's like, yo, we're gonna throw two brand new Mario games at them this year, and we're gonna sell 100 million copies of both these games combined. It feels like. Speaking of that second Mario game, Super Mario RPG Remake announced coming November 17th, 2023. This one was awesome. Like I said, there were leaks and rumors of this being here coming. I think they started leaking out about last week. So I did kind of have an idea that it was going to be here, but it was still awesome to see. I love the way it looks. And this is another Square. Well, technically, it's not Square Enix. It's just SquareSoft coming full back around and showing you that they've been here for a long time making RPGs, and they are some of the best at it. Now they're not making this, but they made the original one. So, and yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this game. I know it's not new. I know it's just like a remake and everything, but like I'm pretty excited for this. Like again, this is something I know it's not new, so probably people are like, but for me this is new. And I'm excited to play it because again, it's a different take on Mario. I honestly wish they would remake Paper Mario 1, the original one, because that game was absolutely amazing as a kid. I love that game. All the other Paper Marios suck. But that first
ooh,
Paper
you're
Mario
gonna get some
was
hate on
so
that one.
good. What?
You're gonna get some hate for that
I
one.
mean, let's be honest here. The first Paper Mario is the best one. You gotta at least admit that. Um, So yeah, I do kind of like this take. That's why I even liked about the Mario and Rabbids game because it was just like a different take on Mario. And this again, I know it's not different because it came out years ago, but we haven't gotten to play this game unless you paid probably $200 to buy the game at this point, or if you get a ROM. That's not saying you should do that, but that's the only other way I can think you can do it.
Do it. Come at me. I don't give a shit.
So,
Who's gonna
but
come after the FTC?
I am excited for this because I do think it looks cool. Definitely seems like a game I'm gonna enjoy. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this game. This one was a big awesome surprise for me in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
So not a huge surprise for me. I anticipated it being here, but it's still really cool to see, and I can't wait to play it. I don't think I'm doing anything mid-November. Spider-Man should be done by then, and something comes out in December that I want to play. Oh, Avatar, yeah. So
oh yeah.
yeah, Avatar. So, but we got a couple weeks to play through this. It says it is a very straightforward RPG. There's not a whole lot of explorational features. Like it is your general basic, JRPG exploration. I guess it technically isn't a JRPG, but it is because it's a Japanese property made by a Japanese developer being remade by another Japanese developer. So it's very Japanese, but it doesn't have that same like anime style feel. But anyway, yes, I can't wait for this. Worthy was freaking out, man. I got like 4 text messages from him. He was this is his favorite game of all time. So I'm happy for him. He gets to play it, and he loves the Switch way more than either of you and me do. So
Yeah.
he plays that thing all the time. All right, another surprise that I thought was really cool: the Detective Pikachu 2. This game apparently got announced back in 2018, so it's been forever or something like that. I don't remember when, but it's been a long time since we've seen anything or heard anything from it. And I just think it's just such a unique, different, cool thing that Nintendo has going for them. I still love that no one knew Detective Pikachu was based off a video game. The movie. I thought that was funny.
No.
Peyton had no clue, and I was like, it was a DS game. But anywho, knowledge flex notwithstanding. This was another cool one to see, and I may not play it, but again, I can appreciate how kind of out there it was, and I know people are very excited about it. So
I think it looks pretty ugly, but
I mean,
especially supposedly from what I heard, this was supposed to be a 3DS game originally, and I can kind of tell it was definitely a 3DS game for sure. It just looks very plain. I do like Detective Pikachu in general. I like the movie quite a bit, so I don't know. We'll see how when it comes out. Maybe it's a really good game. I've heard not such great things about the first one. A lot of people say it's just too easy and not enjoyable. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this one's.
it's also made for kids, so
I mean that's fair, but like Mario's hard. That's for kids. Zelda is technically made for kids,
I do
but it's
no.
hard.
I do not prescribe to that. Zelda is Nintendo's adult franchise. I do not prescribe to the idea that Zelda is made for kids. There's no way they designed the fucking water temple in Ocarina of Time for children. That thing's impossible to get through as an adult. You have to watch up a guide to figure out how to get through that thing.
Yeah.
But that's like saying, oh, Ace Attorney sucks because it's easy. I'm like, well, it's not made to be hard. It's made to be
I don't really
enjoyed.
think
So
that game would be too easy, right? I don't know.
it's not hard. Anyway,
That's fair.
I'm gonna rattle off some of these things. Stop me if you have anything to say about any of them. Okay, Metal Gear Solid Collection got shown off again, confirmed coming to the Nintendo Switch. That's cool. These are actually probably pretty cool games to play on the go. I'm excited for people to get the chance to play on a Nintendo console. The Legend of
It was
Zelda.
cool. Oh, sorry.
No,
I
you
was gonna
good.
say it's really okay. It was cool that they showed off the other games that were going to come to the collection that they didn't already announce. I also really am. I think it's awesome that they're adding.
They did
A
announce
bunch
them.
of
They
the
just
comic
didn't show them.
books and the game manuals and stuff, and like a bunch of strategy guide things in there. I think that's really really cool. Kind of makes me want to get it. I mean, I mainly just want to play Metal Gear Solid 3, but I would love to play the other games too.
Metal Gear Solid
Especially
2
since I've never played any of these games, so it'd be kind of cool. IFC will not be getting it on Switch. I'll probably be getting it on something else, maybe
Yeah.
PlayStation or PC. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's cool. I'm happy they announced. I was wondering what the last few games were going to be. I definitely wasn't expecting like the fourth game. But it would have been cool if they supposedly the PSP game's really good. So I kind of was maybe thinking that would be it. But I think that's gonna be the next volume. They're gonna bring the PSP game and some other games, I'm sure.
And
So
we'll talk about that in about an hour.
yeah,
So, Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom showed off the new sets of amiibos. There we go.
Amiibo.
Yeah, Ganondorf and Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think they look good.
Zelda one's cool.
Yeah.
I like the Zelda one a lot. That
Like,
one's
apparently,
pretty damn cool.
like there's people out there that call Ganondorf like Big Dad, Big Daddy. They think he's hot or
Yeah.
something. That's a weird thing. I don't know what's up with
I mean,
that.
he's pretty buff and he's showing his nipple.
Yeah. Big old daddy nipple. Big old.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's a new bat nipple. It's
Yeah.
it's the dwarf nipple. All right.
Dwarf nipple.
Dwarf nipple. WarioWare Move It, the next WarioWare game coming out. I have never played a WarioWare game in my entire life, so I have no perspective on that. But I know from reactions, people are very excited about this. So I am not the guy to go for with my opinions on this, but I still recognize it as a good piece of news and announcement. Do you have anything on this one?
I just played the only WarioWare I've ever played is the one on DS, I believe. That was really fun, but I'm surprised they're still making this game. Like it's just like it's kind of like ever played Dumb Ways to Die on the phone?
No.
Okay. Well, it's basically just a bunch of mini games that like they throw at you, and you're there's like a timer on top, and you have to try to complete them as fast as possible. But if you don't, you lose. That's it. That's literally WarioWare. It's fun for a little bit, but I'm sure they're gonna very much overprice this game. Probably charge 60 to $50 or whatever for this, and this is like that 1-2 switch kind of game where it's just like I don't think it's worth
I
that.
still can't believe it's
So
a sequel, dude.
yeah, I don't know, dude. They didn't even talk about it. By the way, let's bring that up. They didn't even freaking talk about that game in
I don't
this
think
entire showcase.
I don't think they plan on ever talking about it. So.
Yeah, I just think that's hilarious.
All right, we got new details on Pikmin 4 and a detailed gameplay. I don't know what that sentence was I just said. We got new details on Pikmin 4 through a gameplay reveal. And, guys, it looks like Pikmin.
Whoa, it's
If
Pikmin.
I
But
have.
now you could travel at night.
That's wild.
Different.
Game changing.
Different.
All right, I don't want to
Yep.
make that. I know Pikmin games are fantastic. People love them. They always score really high. DJ's super excited about this. I played Pikmin 3 a little bit on the Wii U, but that's the worst console ever created, so I didn't get all the way through it. So yeah. And then they also, with it, announced the HD versions of Pikmin 1 and 2 coming to the Switch shop later. Well, that day that it was. So I don't know. What day did this show? I don't remember.
It was on
Thursday?
September. What the heck? Oh, that's
No,
physical.
that's a physical. It
I
was
have
either
no idea.
Wednesday or
I
Thursday.
forgot what day it was.
Anyway, they're on the Switch shop now. You can play them if you want. So I'm sure DJ's playing those. The show did start with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Hidden Treasures. Finally got a look at it, even though they still refuse to put actual dates on them. I don't know why. Look, anyway, they're coming fall and winter, part 1 and 2. And as a guy that put 80 plus hours into Scarlet and Violet, I could care less. I already put my time into this game. I probably will not play these. That's just me with DLC, man. I didn't even finish the Horizon DLC, and I fucking love Horizon. I just don't like when DLC comes out this late for a game. DLC is a couple months after release, not a year after release or plus. Like I can't. I will always think that I play too many video games to.
You're gonna play Cyberpunk though.
Yeah, and well, to be
Yeah.
fair, I just played Cyberpunk last year, so
Still a year.
yeah, I
I mean,
guess
for
so.
me, it's 2 years. So
I may not
yeah.
play Cyberpunk. Fuck it, I may not play Phantom
I don't know,
Liberty.
man. I'm pretty fucking. I wish we should have probably put that as a story, but it's okay. It just looks cool. So let's keep going.
All right, Mario Kart 8 got the next the DLC wave pass, and only one course this time. That was weird, but then you get 3 new
Yeah.
drivers.
So
that one confused the shit out of me.
I'm a little confused here. This is called the booster. Wait for it. Course pack. And if I remember right, well, let me think here. I don't remember characters being courses. Is that just me? Because I don't remember you driving on the characters. So why these last two waves? It
I would
seems like,
drive on
oh,
Princess
fuck,
Peach.
like we don't have enough maps, so let's just shove in a bunch of stupid characters that literally add nothing to this pack. Like I'm just saying, like this is just
No.
like a Fortnite skin.
I don't know if
You're
you heard
paying
me
for a
or not,
Fortnite
but
skin. You're getting a Fortnite skin, and then you get one course. Wow, that's awesome. Can't wait for the new season or wave. Like, how you have all these maps, and you're telling me you made one for both wave 4 and 5. We've just gotten one course. No, wait, did we get two? I don't remember how much we got last one. But now it's like literally just one course, and you get a bunch of skins.
can I be
That's
honest?
so dumb.
I love Mario Kart. You know that. I play
Hmm.
Mario Kart all the time. I own the Booster Pass expansion thing. I bought it, so I have this whenever it launches. I'm kind of tired of it. I just want the next Mario Kart, dude.
I think everybody is by now.
Yeah, and
Dude,
it's
they are
like
milked this game for so long.
this game came out in 2013.
Hmm.
Yes, technically this one came out with the Switch in 2017.
It
I
literally
get.
came out with the Wii U,
Yeah,
and
it was a Wii U
literally
launch game.
it's going to last all the way to the end of the Switch. Just think of that.
And
An
it's not
entire console generation.
and it's only like $10 cheaper than it launched at. It's still like a $50
Yeah.
game.
No, it's still $60, I believe.
No, I think it dropped to 50 now cuz Breath of the Welder. What the fuck's that? Breath of the
Breath of
Wild.
the Wilder.
Breath of the Wild and this I think dropped to 50 when I was working at Target. I don't remember. Hold on.
It went back up to 60 though.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Purchase. Can I not purchase this game? There we go. Yep. Nope. $49.98. Yeah. So it dropped. It dropped to $50.
Ooh.
Yeah. The
Big
European
sale.
version. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's just my honest opinion. Like, I'm gonna play these when they come out because again, I have the expansion pass. I play them every time they come out. But I really just desperately want the next Mario Kart. Like, I'm honestly kind of tired of playing Mario Kart 8, even though again, I'm very good at it. But I want to play something different. I want to beat you at the next Mario Kart. That's what I want. All right. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, a remastered of the old 3DS game, got announced. So 2 remastered. Vampire Survivors is getting a couch co-op mode this August. I know people were pretty excited about that. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince announced a new like Pokemon-esque version of Dragon Quest. Just great to
It
hear
actually
that
kind of
theme.
reminds me of Persona with the fact that you're mixing these two things.
Yeah, it's like Persona Pokemon type thing.
Hmm.
Sonic Superstars got a new gameplay trailer. I don't know why I'm excited about this. I just like Sonic. I don't know. I don't play every single Sonic game that comes out, but every time I see a Sonic game, I'm like, man, this stuff's just cool. I just like Sonic as a character. Don't ask me why. Whatever, I guess. Batman Arkham Trilogy. This is the surprise that no one saw coming. Coming to Nintendo Switch later this
Well,
year.
the funny part is I actually have heard about this coming to Switch, but I didn't believe it. And then it actually showed up here, and I'm like, all right, didn't expect it, especially this late in the generation.
I don't know how the hell
What have you
Arkham
been
Knight's gonna
doing?
run in this thing, but
Yeah, I don't know how either. Especially when you get in that Batmobile. Ooh, that's gonna be rough.
what do you mean? What have they been doing, man? They've been making Suicide Squad the best game it can be. Still isn't that great. Star Ocean, the second story are announced. This game first came out in 1998. So another remake slash remastered.
Hey, you're after my birthday. Whee!
Oh my god, it made me feel
It's an
so
old ass game.
Fuck off. I was 7 when this game came out, you dick. Persona 5 Tactica got a new gameplay trailer, and I have to say, I don't love the art style of this game, but I think it looks like it's going to be fun to play. I just don't.
Hmm.
I'm not on board with this art style. I don't know. It's too weird. But, okay. Do we care about anything else that came out? There's a whole bunch of shit here.
How about that ice cream?
I was going to say Headbangers, the pigeon-based rhythm game, actually looked kind of cool. I thought.
I wasn't really. I didn't care about it.
Oh, and then I think the only thing really worthy of pointing out is Penny's Big Breakaway. That was really cool, coming from the guys that did Sonic Mania. That was a really great 2D side-scrolling Sonic game. Kind of brought Sonic back to the forefront, and this is their next game. Sorry, not 2D. I said 2D. I meant 3D. My bad. And I think that's really cool. It looks really awesome. Looks fun to play. Looks kind of kinetic and all that. So pretty excited about that. And the last, excuse me, the last thing I want to point out, Maniac Mechanics, a not Overwatch, Overcooked clone for car mechanics. Looks really fun. That's always fun for Peyton and I to yell at each other playing those games. So it's always a good time. Anything else, man?
No.
All right. Well, let us know down below what you guys thought of the Nintendo Direct. Like I said, I was very, very surprised by it. Thought there was quite a bit of cool stuff there. Now, and again, it may not all be for me, but I did think it was really cool. So we're gonna go now to Around the Point, where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you the news that you need to know about. Number one on Around the Point, a game that Logan wow, what a start.
We're doing great.
Yeah. Just knocking it out of the park here. Anyway, Battlebit Remastered has come out and is top the Steam's chart. It's a reading from the Insider Gaming article. It says Battlebit Remastered is taking Steam by storm, sitting at the top of the best-selling games list and enjoying a prestigious position in the charts despite being a game almost no one's ever heard of by a team of just 4 developers. It has been under production for more than 7 years, but now that the remastered edition has hit the market, fans are going wild over it. For the most part, it's doing the FPS thing better than some AAA studios, and there's a bright future in store for the game. In a roadmap graphic released by the 4 main development team, the state of Battlebit Remastered was outlined, revealing just how hefty an offering this $15 game is. It's currently being enjoyed by some of the biggest names in FPS gaming on streaming platforms too, which is nothing but a good thing for the game. That roadmap includes 6 new classes, weapon customization, vehicles coming to the thing, and over 39 new weapons and tiers coming, along with a litany of modes and future updates, including new gadgets, new vehicles, and something called Muslim mode. So yeah, this game's
Oh, Milsim. You just
Milsim. What did I say, Milsim? Okay, so I messed up one letter. All right, Mr. Depth over there. You want to fucking talk about?
Muslim.
I said Milsim. I messed up one
Yes,
letter.
Milsim.
Yeah, I got
Which is
it.
military simulation.
Okay, well, my
Or
bad.
military simulator probably is better. I just think that's funny. I get
Hey,
to make fun of you one time. Okay,
I would
this
say
is my moment.
how much depth does this game have?
It has a lot of depth.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you hear that?
Yeah. Well, you can say it when you think about it.
Depth. There you go.
There was a lot.
Okay. All right.
There was a lot of
But yeah,
depth in your voice there.
I'm very happy about this game. I've been keeping up with this game for a while now, actually. Again, as I said, I played a little bit of it. I like it, other than I suck at it. But that's mainly because it's mouse and keyboard only, and it's rough for me. Not the game. The game isn't rough. It's flawless, surprisingly. I mean, heck, it's more flawless than XDefiant. But I'm really happy to see this game blow up. It really does deserve it. I've been keeping up with it for a while now, so I've been watching I don't know if you've ever heard of this channel, but it's Big Fry. I really like watching his content. He likes to review a lot of like shooter games, especially a lot of indie shooter games. And this is one of them that he's been covering for a while now. I've seen a bunch of other YouTubers play this during the closed like beta or whatever. And yeah, I mean, it looked really cool since then. And I hope this does end up coming to console, which, I mean, I don't know how it wouldn't be able to run on console. Trust me, this game uses like 10% of my GPU when playing, and I can max out the frame rate and everything. So, like, it's not a demanding game at all. Even with 256 players, it's not that bad. So yeah,
Question:
I'm just really happy.
Is there like parties and all that? Can we like play together?
Yeah.
Does it work?
I don't know. I haven't played with anyone yet.
That's
I
true.
played by
Fair
myself.
enough.
So yeah.
I'm a download it this week.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It's not a bad price for this game, and the amount of content that you get in this game would make any AAA shooter game blush, because literally there is a insane amount of customization. And wait for it, no microtransactions. Tons of guns, a
Hey,
solid amount of maps at launch.
that was kind of hot.
Uh,
Can you do that again?
yeah. No microtransactions.
Oh God. Excuse me, I had to go to the bathroom.
Ugh.
By the way, I didn't
But
even, I
yeah,
realized about an hour ago we're wearing kind of the same color shirt. That's
we
cool.
are.
And the same color
Yeah.
hat.
I say
We're
what the. Okay, we did not mean to do this, but yeah, we are.
yeah,
That's hilarious.
we are twinning like crazy right
Yes.
now.
Yeah. I should have gotten a polo that's pink. It would have been perfect.
Bitch, this is salmon. It ain't pink,
Oh,
all
sorry,
right?
salmon. Okay,
Thank
this
you.
is pink. Yeah.
I love this polo, I'm not gonna lie. Makes my pecs look really good.
Mine's got a
That was
little
douchey.
skull dude with a oil barrel. That's what mine is.
Mine's
Yeah.
got white lines on it.
Woo.
Yeah. All right, anyway, so yes.
But yeah.
This game looks cool. I'm happy for them. Like I said, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
it out with you.
I think it'd be fun.
We can suck together.
Since we aren't playing a certain game of the CODs anymore.
Of
You
the
could play this.
gods. No, we're not playing that anymore. So for
Sadly.
reasons also including Final Fantasy. All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next story, EA, actually an interesting one. They have announced, well, technically the CEO has announced that they will be splitting the company into multiple different sectors now to better encapsulate, I guess is the word, the like forward momentum. So it says Electronic Arts is undergoing a major internal shakeup, announcing today in a message from CEO Andrew Wilson that it is realigning its major studios and its leadership structure in an effort to empower our creative teams. The reorganization includes splitting EA Games and EA Sports, with the former being renamed EA Entertainment in a signal that EA intends to expand beyond games where possible. We're building the future. Sorry, this is a quote from Andrew. Quote, we're building the future of interactive entertainment on a foundation of legendary franchises and innovative new experiences, which represents massive opportunities for growth, end quote. It continues on, yada, yada, and explains this percent. But yeah, so we no longer have to associate Madden with Immortals of Aveum.
Thank God.
No, I guess we still do. I mean, this is just like a.
But we just get to call out the second half of EA,
Yeah.
not the full thing anymore.
This
Which
is
is
just a
good.
perception thing, but yeah, no. So we've seen them do the EA Originals, which is where they're publishing Immortals of Aveum, and they published Wild Hearts. It started back in the day with things like Valiant Hearts and I forgot what the other ones were, but they also like things like It Takes Two is underneath that label. And yeah, like I've said for a while now, I'm actually pretty impressed with what EA is doing. You know, I think they've kind of rebounded. Like, yes, they still make Madden, they still make FIFA, they're still douchey in that way. Every company is pretty much douchey in some way. But I've been pretty impressed over the past, 5 or so years how they've been able to, kind of reshape themselves and reformat who they are. And what's funny is, you want to know how they did it? Single player games. Right after they said single player games are dead. So we win. What do you think?
Yeah. No, again, I think this is a good thing. Again, it's them kind of splitting themselves from themselves, which is fine. Because then we could just make fun of the other half, which is totally fine with me. And hopefully that will mean that the other EA will be more focused on what they've been doing, which I'm happy about. Single player games, it's still funny because they're the ones who said that single player games are just no one cares about them. But then, well, as you can tell, everybody does, and I hope they continue down this route of making more and more single player stuff. I'm loving it. I don't know, it's bringing me back to my childhood. That's why, even though I may not be a super huge fan of this new Immortals of Aveum game, I still think it's awesome because it brings me back to my childhood when they used to come out with like Medal of Honors all the time, or random games that were just had the EA games thing on there. And yeah, I'm happy about this. I think this is good news all around. Yeah, I'm pumped.
I just think it's funny how they, I mean, good on them for, I guess, turning everything around, but I just think it's funny the way they did it and the way that, that they were completely and utterly wrong. Like, most major companies are when they come to terms of like what to do. So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for Mortals of Avium. We'll be talking about it in the next couple minutes, actually. But, and I just hope they keep going, Dead Space remake. Great. Keep it going. Don't stop.
I hope there's a Dead Space 2,
Yeah.
please. That'd be cool.
Well, there already
But
is
who
a Dead
knows?
Space 2.
Supposedly sales were not what they wanted with Dead Space 1, so I don't know.
So I don't really know why. I guess because people see, I don't really know why.
It just makes me mad because of how much money were you expecting? Like you picked like I don't know. I feel like some of these companies sometimes put a very unreal goal on what they're gonna get from a game, and then they are always like disappointed. Like who was it? Square Enix. They always put super
Oh,
high
yes. Square
goals,
Enix is
and then they're
disappointed
always
by
like, "Oh,
everything.
it failed," and yet they made like a ton of money. They probably even made enough to easily double what it cost to make it, but they always want like the triple. They want an insane amount of money for it. And it's like just put a reasonable mark, you know? I don't know.
That's
Like
fair.
we're probably never gonna get a Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I guarantee it, which really
Well,
sucks.
we could. They don't own
Um,
that studio anymore. Embracer have it,
oh, they don't. Oh yeah, you're
but
right.
Embracer's embroiled in their own.
Yeah.
They're throwing companies out like crazy. Well, that's what
Well,
happens.
yeah, they're just holding them hostage and be like, "Hey, we want them."
Well, that's what happens when you buy like 30 fucking studios with no way that you can control that many. Like I never understood what people think. Like Embracer of all people. Like I think we got a stat. They had like 135 games in development. Who's gonna buy all 135 of those games? How do
I
you
know.
even police that amount of workforce? They had more people or the same amount of people as like something like Ubisoft did, and that's just I don't know. To anybody that has any sort of affinity for business stats or anything like that, that just seems like a dumb decision. But we're getting way off topic, so like we usually do. Let's get back on topic. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, EA not EA, sorry. EA's doing just
Number
fine.
3.
E3, however, continues to just
Yeah.
not do anything. So this is kind of like a back and forth story. We got the original story, now we've got an update for the story, but I'll read it as it came out. The original story is EA was dramatically canceled for 2024, and according to the Los Angeles Tourism Department, it was also not on the docket for 2025. So people assumed that E3 was now canceled at 2024 and in 2025. And then the update came in, and pretty much they said we haven't made a decision yet past 2024 or 2024. So I don't even know how to describe this to people because it's just why even try anymore? We just had Summer Game Fest, a massive success. It
Mhm.
has its own show, and then it allows these companies to produce their own show within the time frame to get all eyes and all their fandoms on that. Again, we've talked about how much we adored E3 and how much we loved and how much we're gonna miss it because we don't need it anymore. It's dead. We've moved into the next stage of video game coverage or video game showcases or whatever. Like in this modern landscape, what is E3 gonna bring to us? Like,
Yeah.
where
I
does it
mean, honestly,
sit?
Summer Game Fest is the new E3 at this point. I honestly don't
Yeah.
know why they need to. I honestly don't know what they could do unless E3 wants to sell to Jeff Keighley, and maybe Jeff Keighley could do something
What is he
with that.
buying? There's nothing there. Just the name?
The place, right? Do
No, I
they
mean,
own?
no.
Do
It's just
they own that?
it's a convention center. They rent it out just like everyone else does.
Oh,
It's the LA
that's fair.
Convention Center. So
Yeah, then there's nothing really there.
it's
I don't know.
just a name. Like I don't even know. Like I guess it's unfair of me to say, hey, just give up because that just seems kind of beta-ish
But
in
I
a
mean,
way.
at
But
this
it's like
point, what they've already delayed it so much, and clearly no company wants to go to them anymore. They literally have lost everything that makes E3 E3 at this point. So like, where do they go from here? Other than maybe they want to turn into a Comic Con in a sense, like we said before.
yeah,
That's a
we've
whole. We're
talked
not
about
going to go
this.
down that line again. We've talked about this 2 times, but they could always go down the Comic Con route and maybe make it more of a convention, which could work, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah, who the hell knows? Like again, I look at
Or they could
how,
team up with Summer Games Fest and maybe make the
but again,
E3 the convention, and then Summer Games Fest is like in one of the rooms, like it's always been with E3. And because I mean, clearly Jeff Keighley likes to have a crowd. He had a crowd at the Summer Game Fest, so maybe they could work with them, and maybe E3 could be the more convention side, and Summer Game Fest could be the show side. And I don't know. That's the best thing I could think of
but like
to mix them.
I look at that and it's like, okay, so we have a convention. How much more can we learn about the games that we're excited for that we didn't learn from the past month and a half of
what I
coverage
mean
and
is like you could have
showcases.
indie studio show there. Maybe make it like a reasonable price
We
for
have
indie studios who want to come there.
we have like packs. That's for indie studios. We already have all the stuff we need. Like we don't need it. That's what I'm saying. Like I try to sit here and I try to think of a way for E3 to come back in something that's akin to what they used to be, and it's like we don't need you anymore. I'm sorry. Like Nintendo was the first one to figure it out. PlayStation then figured it out. Now Microsoft has their own shows twice a year. And all
Hmm.
these other studios, you get Devolver Digital, Capcom does their own thing. They talk to us when they have something to say. We don't need to have a time frame now. Every single year E3 happens and everyone's got to show up and everyone's got to be there. These companies can talk to us when they're ready to go now, and they don't have to have a stage to let us know things. And I just don't see where the hell they even can make an imprint or make a point in the modern way of showcases and how these publishers talk to us. They don't need anything. They don't need a stage anymore. They have this computer screen that I'm sitting in front of right now. They can talk to me through that. It's way
Hmm.
easier for everybody. So who knows, man? Like again, I just think they should probably just bow out. Like again, what are you gonna sell? You don't own anything. You own a name.
I know.
Just you tried, kind of. Actually, I guess they really tried. So, anyway, let's move on. I'm tired of E3 being even a talking point, but it came up in the news. So, Immortals of Aveum got delayed. That's unfortunate, but here it is. So, originally dated for July 20th, it is now going to be released on August 22nd. This comes from the tweet from the developer Ascendant Studios. They said, as you know, this is our first game as a self-funded independent studio. We set out 5 years ago to ambitiously make an original Magic FPS in a new fantasy world. Along the way, we worked through a pandemic, built a new team, developed on Unreal Engine 5.1, and pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Now the finish line is in sight. The recent feedback to the game proves to us what we already felt, that Immortals of Aveum is something special. In order to realize our full vision, we are going to take a few extra weeks, making our new launch date Tuesday, August 22nd. This will give us time to further polish the game, finish optimizing all platforms, and deliver a strong launch. We owe it to ourselves and to you to get this right. So cool. Well, upsetting because it pushes the release date right smack dab in the middle of things I'm going to play. But so that's unfortunate for me personally. But cool. I hope they get this one right. I think this thing looks really, really cool. I'm pretty excited to play it. Don't know how I'm going to play it now because, again, the original release date was like perfect for me. But good on them. Finish it up, polish it up, make it the best you possibly can be because you are an independent studio. Yes, you're being funded now by EA and all that, but EA does not own Ascendant Studios. So you need this one to hit. You need it to hit big, and then maybe that gives you enough money to go make something else or go make a sequel or whatever. The endless cycle. So, like I said, maybe I'm kind of selfish here just because I think the game looks really cool and I'm excited about it. But I hope they succeed. I really do.
I mean, I do too. I think this is cool. I do think it's pretty interesting, and they've showed some stuff that's been a little bit more excites me a little bit more. But I'm kind of curious what's holding them back. I wonder if it's you know what it is, shaders. I wonder if it's a shader compilation issue.
Yeah. Them
Um,
damn shader compilations. Yeah, no. So this new release date puts them. Hold on, I'm doing math real
pretty close to
quick.
Starfield.
Well, I guess it's
I
kind of
mean, it's a
close,
couple weeks before,
but
but well,
it's
unless you get Starfield September 1st,
it's
then
it's 3 days before Armored Core 6. 7 days before Sea of Stars, but that's not competing. That's just competing for my attention. Um, and a week and a half before Baldur's Gate 3. So it's smack dab in the middle of a very busy time. And no one cares and all that, but it's a week after, 12 days after Atlas Fallen, which I'm still excited about. I don't know why.
I
I think
forgot that game.
I think it looks really cool. So, yeah, it sucks for me personally because again, originally when it was supposed to come out, there was nothing, Pikmin, and then the Expanse Telltale series, which I guess I get to play that now, so that's cool. Because
Yeah.
there's nothing else I have to play. So, and yeah, so I wish them nothing but goodwill. I hope your game doesn't suck, because just seems recently every single game I add to my fantasy critic list underperforms. So let's hope it doesn't. All right, we're getting close to the end here now, guys. So we have a story that I predicted at the beginning of the year. and
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I guess I'm not happy, but I'm happy that I'm right. But Microsoft has announced that the Xbox Series X and Game Pass are going to get a little bit more expensive for those of you out there, just like PlayStation did last year. In territories around the world outside of the U.S. and the American territories, the Xbox Series X and S is going to go to $549.99, and obviously equivalent to all those territories. And Xbox Game Pass Ultimate will increase $2 to $16.99, and the regular Xbox Game Pass will increase $1 to $10.99. I think this is the exact prediction that I made. Granted, it's not my own thought. I made my prediction based off rumors and other people's thoughts and all that, but I'm pretty sure this is exactly it. Anyway, I guess people are okay with this because I haven't really seen any vitriolic reaction like I was expecting, because everyone called Sony the worst company in the world for doing this, and I guess it's okay. So I don't know what to think about it. I'm fine with it. I'd never cared when PlayStation did it. I don't care when Xbox does it. Everything's really expensive right now. Everything's kind of fucked up financially. So I don't hold this against them at all. But I just thought it was weird that no one really said anything about it after calling PlayStation the next worst company ever. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It still sucks because, like, especially if you don't have it right now, it's kind of a weird thing to happen where usually later in the generation things become cheaper, not more expensive, and yet here we are. It's gotten more expensive. Yeah, I mean, I saw this coming too. It was bound to happen. Xbox held out as long as they could. They really did. They said that they were, but at some point it was going to have to go up. I mean, as I said, even down here it says Phil Spencer mentioned last October that the price of the hardware and the Game Pass would go up at some point. So it was bound to happen at some point. Though, hopefully this won't be too long of a thing. Maybe it'll be a couple months, and hopefully maybe things will change. Who sees? Who sees? Who knows? But hey, it's cool though that at least the Series S isn't gonna go up. So I mean, heck, if you want to still get a Series S, still gonna stay the same price. It's just the Series X and Game Pass that's going up.
I think
So
it's just the nature of where we're living in right now. Like it's not a mirror image or everything like that of what we've used to gone through with generations where, things get cheaper, then the new boxes come out, and endless cycle repeating. We're just in a different world right now than we were in 2016, 2017. Like, things are just not the same with the economy and the world's financials out there. Like, sometimes things just have to get more expensive. And I know that sucks for all of us out there, those who don't have it, who maybe you don't live in the Americas or anything like that. It does suck. I feel bad for you, but it's just, honestly, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, I know that feels kind of, deft for me to say that, or rude for me to say that, but sometimes shit just has to go up. There's no other way around it. Like, and nothing you can really do about it except either buy it or don't buy it. So
yeah,
I don't know. Again, I was fine with it when PlayStation did it. I'm fine with it when Xbox did it. It's just the nature of the world we live in. I guess I'm fine with it because it doesn't affect me. Well, I guess Game Pass affects me, but I knew that was going to go up. They're spending
yeah, that was bound to go up at
you know,
some
they're
point,
spending
which
too much
I'm
money to
not
put content
surprised.
onto it. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, you have all this
I mean,
content that
they
no
have a
one
lot
pays
of
for.
big games coming out this year too for Game Pass, so it's not a big deal for me, to be honest. It's like I get it. I mean, you're getting Starfield, you're getting a lot of other big games. I mean, for me, Liza P as well. So I mean, hey, I don't really give a shit. That's fine with me.
Oh, did you hear they're going to patch the whole dodge problem that everyone had with the game?
And what? Oh,
Liza P.
oh, they are. Well, the thing is, supposedly, well, when I play, hopefully they do kind of. Actually, that probably is a good thing. They do patch that because it is a little difficult at the beginning of the game, but supposedly there's an ability you can get that you can double dodge at a certain point, and that's something you unlock at the end of the demo. But hey, if they want to do it at the beginning of the game, that's fine with me, because I will admit, yeah, dodging was quite difficult. It was really hard to dodge enemies' attacks compared to like how it was for me with Elden Ring. Um,
What's funny because
but
the way that they phrase it is they say that dodge wasn't acting the way that they thought it was going to, but then they give you an upgrade to it later on.
well,
So,
it was like delayed, the dodging. It
oh,
just
okay,
didn't
that's fair.
feel. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it wasn't like right when you hit it, it happened. It was like a slight delay, and it was very frustrating. But if you get used to it, you get used to it. It's not a huge deal. But if they're gonna patch and fix it, that's fine with me. That makes things easier. So yeah.
All right, let's continue on with our Xbox and Starfield news. Speaking on the Kind of Funny Games podcast, Todd Howard has revealed that 10% of Starfield's plants will have life on them. This is a quote directly from him. He says, quote, "For us, we view it as giving you, the player, choices when you look at a system. Here's the many things you could do. This could include visiting barren planets that are only there to collect resources, or planets with major cities and settlements for players to explore and progress the story." He continued on, "Obviously, it's procedural, so there's no way we're going to go and handcraft an entire planet. What we do is we handcraft individual locations, and some of those are placed specifically, like the main cities and other quest locations, and then we have a suite for them that are generated or placed when you land depending on the planets." End quote. So yeah, people were mad at this. I don't know why. What do you expect every single planet to have something to do on it?
I think some people, I don't know. It's really funny too because these are the same people that bitch and complain and say this is the same thing as, um, what the fuck is it called? No Man's Sky. Whereas literally No Man's Sky, every planet is just a barren wasteland with some animals possibly. That's literally No Man's Sky with every planet. I just think that's funny. But 10% of 1,000 is 100. So that's still a lot of planets with a lot of life on it. And they didn't say that there wasn't anything on the planets. There were still things to explore and find. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I will say one thing that surprisingly didn't get brought up, which I do kind of understand why people are a little upset about, is the fact that he has confirmed that there is no vehicles to drive or get around on these planets. So when you land on a planet, the only way to get around is with a jetpack. That's it. You don't
That,
get like a rover or anything.
that's a little rough.
Yeah, that's a little. It depends on how they do things. If that's gonna be a
Yeah.
big deal at the end of the day, like is a jetpack gonna have a lot of fuel in it to where I can get around easy? Is it gonna have a very short cooldown? How bad is that going to be? Or another thing I have is there gonna be a loading screen if I want to get to my ship and get to a new location on the planet? Because if there isn't and it's very short, then that also can make things a little bit easier. It still kind of sucks that there won't be a vehicle. I do think that's a very big oversight in my opinion, but other than that, I don't this doesn't really kill my hype for the game. I just think it's like, he probably is just estimating too. I bet you there's more than 10%, but we'll
I mean,
see.
even if there's a little less, like you've seen, like I just don't understand. Mass Effect. There's a bunch of the planets don't have anything going on in them,
I
and
know.
I still land on them, collect some stuff, and then go off. I do not understand why people bitch and complain about everything, whether it's Xbox fans, PlayStation fans. To give credit, I don't ever hear Nintendo fans talking. Mostly because they're probably too young to use a computer. I'm just kidding. Uh, but I don't know. I don't understand where the hate and vitriolic nature came from. Like, play the game, enjoy the game, talk about the game, what you liked, what you didn't like. Why do we have to hate so much? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting
People are going to be very
preachy.
brutal with this game all the way to the point it comes out. And then from there, there'll probably still be people that are going to be very overly critical of the game, which is bound to happen. I mean, Bethesda's kind of asking for it because they made Fallout 76 and not a great experience that really put a really bad mark on them
Yeah, but
in
this team
general.
didn't make Fallout 76. It wasn't
Yes, it
Bethesda.
did.
No, it actually wasn't Todd Howard's team that made it. Todd Howard,
Oh,
they just walked him on stage to make you think that. That was actually an article that came out with the FTC and all that. It actually
oh,
wasn't Todd Howard's team that made Fallout 76. It was a totally different team. Todd Howard's team was working on this the whole time. So there is a lot of
oh.
bullshit going on there with the marketing. Like, they said, hey, Todd Howard, go explain this game to people so people think you made it. And so that's a whole nother conversation of
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know
corporatism.
that. Huh.
Yeah,
Well, good. Good. That brings my hopes up a little bit more because, like, I like Fallout 4. I know a lot of people didn't, but
I did not.
I liked it. So
I think
I
Fallout.
already know I'm gonna probably like this game no matter what. I already have very high hopes for it, but it's up to everyone
You
else.
better. You're
So
spending $300 on a watch.
hell yeah,
I'm
it's
just
gonna be
kidding.
fucking a nice watch.
It's probably not going to be because that's not a very expensive watch.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I have the Fallout 4 Pit Boy back there. So
Yeah,
oh, you can see it. It's right there. Yeah,
yeah, it's
sitting
right
right
there.
sitting right next to Captain America. Which is funny because I didn't even like that game. So, but I did whenever I played it, I had my phone in the Pit Boy and I was doing stuff. It was cool, but
Yeah.
I just didn't like the game. 30 hours in, I was done with it. So sorry, I guess, to people out there.
How dare you?
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. I don't care. Make a better game. All right. Last little news is more of a rumor, but I thought it was dumb for people to not understand this. But apparently, according to leaks and rumors, the Volume 2 of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection was going to include Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. And people were so surprised by this. Why? I don't know.
Such a surprise.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like I said, in the write up, duh. What else was it going to? What else was it going to include? I guess they could throw Survive in there, but no one wants that, so no one bought it when it came out to begin with. So, um, I don't know. Do you have anything on this? I'm excited to get to play Metal Gear Solid 4 not on my PS3 at 12 frames a second. That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
But
that's gonna be cool.
I fucking love Metal Gear Solid 4. It's one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm excited for that. But I don't know why people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this." Are people really that dumb in the world? Are people really that deft?
Some people didn't know. Okay, it is what it is, I guess. But I I don't know. I guess I don't really know about all the different. I knew at least Metal Gear Solid 4 would be in there, and probably the PSP game. I don't know much about all the other ones other than 5. I am a little surprised 5 is going to be in there because you could still buy Metal Gear Solid 5 on literally everything. So some of these other ones you can't. That's why it's like kind of a big deal. So it's a little weird to have Metal Gear Solid 5 to be a part of it.
Honestly, if
Um,
they would have done this like timeline wise, they would have done Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and then Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, because those are all in the modern timeline. Then you would
mhm.
start with Metal Gear Solid 3, then go to Peace Walker, then go to Phantom Pain, because that's in the older timeline. So that's the way the timelines work with those games. So that would have been honestly a better way to release that chronologically speaking. But I mean, again, just release it in order the way the games came out. So
But hey, it's still cool to see Metal Gear Solid 4, even though I'm not a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. Maybe I will be after I play these. I
probably
think it'd
not.
be really cool. I think it's gonna be cool to see Metal Gear Solid 4 get taken away from the shackles of PS3 and actually be able to be playable in different places. So
What's
that's
mind
cool.
blowing is it's not even on PlayStation Plus. You
I
can't
know,
even
which is
stream
weird.
it. Like it was one of the biggest exclusives for PlayStation 3 at the time. Like I remember
Hmm.
when that game came out. I actually remember the day it came out. I bought that and John Woo's Stranglehold in the same day. Guess which one I played?
John Woo Stranglehold.
No, I did not. I played that later. Great game, but I did not
Yeah.
play that one when it came out. So there you go. That's the news for you. If you didn't know, I guess, yes, Volume 2, although not officially announced, we'll have Metal Gear Solid 4, 5, and Peace Walker in there. So eventually you'll be able to play all the Metal Gear Solids on your new shiny boxes that cost $550 if you don't live in America. So, all right. Well, that was all the news we got for you guys. Let us know. It's a pretty slow week. A bunch of the news coming out is all on the FTC stuff, but we're not going to dive into all the nitty gritty here on this show. You can go check it out down below. Ask us any questions. We'll give you our opinions on what's going on right there. But it's just a whole bunch of fanboy warfare, and we don't feel like getting into that here. We want this to be a fun experience for people. So we're gonna go now to Let's Talk Reviews, also known as LTR, so you get to know how your favorite games came out and how they are received by the populace. I guess it's technically not the populace, it's the media out there. But anywho, Aliens Dark Descent came out and got a 77. Crash Team Rumble, I forgot to update this. It's now at a 69 on OpenCritic, so I forgot to update.
Nice.
Nice. C
Nice.
Smash VRS, it's a VR game, came out and got a 73. Dr. Fetus's Mean Meat Machine came out and got a 60. Trip 2 77, Sonic Origins Plus 76, and Final Fantasy 16 sitting at a pretty 89. What do you got, man? Did you get a chance to check out Dr. Fetus's Mean Meat Machine? I know we were both very excited about it.
No, I did not check it out
Damn.
at all.
I was hoping
So
you could report back with how good it was. Or
sadly, I missed out.
apparently how not good it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, I looked it up the other day. Gollum is down to like a 38, I think, or something like that. That's
The
all.
we want to go back to the beginning of this episode. That is a game that shouldn't be running the way it does,
That's true.
but it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not justified there. All right, guys. Out this week is where we go through and tell you guys the games that you get to play this week. On June 29th, Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life comes out on PS5, for Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. The Lara Croft Collection makes its way to Nintendo Switch. Then on June 30th, the one everyone's been waiting for, Everybody 1-2 Switch, comes out on Nintendo Switch. Ghost Trick Phantom Defender, that game from the weird showcase of Capcom where the guy yelled at people for not knowing Japanese, comes out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Goodbye World comes out on PS5 for Xbox Series X and S. And then Master Detective Archives Raincode comes out on Nintendo Switch. Good news. I get to keep playing Final Fantasy XVI because there's nothing this week.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
Oh,
You have anything else for us, Mr. Birdman?
just can't wait for everybody who went to Switch.
I'm interested to see. Just, I don't know why. What could you do with a sequel to that game? I have no clue.
I don't know. But clearly, even Nintendo doesn't have faith in it. The fact that they didn't even show it. I still think that's so funny. Like that is like literally just saying like I don't have faith in this game, like not showing it at all. So yeah, I'm curious to see the reviews for it. I'm curious to see what people think about it. Yeah, nothing too great exciting. Weirdly enough, Alien Dark Descent has a very high score on Steam. It has like a 90 on Steam. So a lot of people absolutely love it on there, but I guess the
That's
critics
good.
don't love it.
I'm glad.
So
I mean, 77 isn't a bad score.
no, it's not. That's one game I've been pretty curious about because it looks kind of cool.
More if
I
you get
don't
a
know.
chance. If you get the chance to check it out, let me know because I will not be playing it. But all right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who's been watching or listening, we just want to take this time, as always, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're trying to do here. But please continue to help us to grow by telling everyone out there that you know who even has the slightest appreciation for all things pop culture, that they have some new friends where you can talk all sorts of fandoms with them. We would greatly appreciate it. Mr. Birdman, any last words?
Thank you guys for stopping by this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Probably said some very controversial things about Paper Mario that you probably didn't like. But
Worthy.
also probably about the 2D Mario. You probably especially don't agree with me on that, which is fair. If you would like to comment down below and actually let me know, that's fine with me. If you have something that maybe you can change my mind, you know. But other than that, yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you guys, if you did stay to this point of the episode, I appreciate you. And other than that, bring back the mic and we're gonna get on out of here.
Also, I forgot to shout out Andrew. I agree. Never have I ever. It's fantastic. Thank you for your comment on last week's episode. Once again, thanks everyone for following along and listening to us. This has been another episode of the XP Podcast brought to you by us here at the Experience Point. I hope everyone has a great week. And as always, see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye.